Would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's being called the must-have tech gadget of the year. The Samsung Apex, which hits shelves today, streams video into your left eye, internet into your right eye, and sucks your dick all at the same time. Samsung spokesman Neil Werner is projecting the biggest sales in his company's history.
Are you kidding me? This thing does everything, plus it sucks your dick, all right? And I know what you're thinking. And yes, ladies, there is a version for you that eats you out. Hang it up, Apple. We beat you the punch on this one. Samsung's got you by the balls.
In spite of the almost $1,000 price tag, customers are raving about the device.
For my career, I do need the internet and TV, and my dick sucked all the time.
I already have a TV and a girlfriend and a laptop, but to have all those in one device would be really nice.
Even a run of bad press about unsafe working conditions in the Apex factory in India have not dampened sales projections.
Yeah. Factory, sweatshop, blah, blah. How about you just plug your eyeball straight into the internet and get your dick sucked?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and it is the live Sunday edition of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Mark.
And we are actually starting out unusually with a guest. We don't do guests a whole lot on Free Talk Live, but this one, I guess we can say we knew her when.
Indeed.
It's Jessica Armand. She is one of the founders of My Magic Mud. And we can say we knew you back when you were selling, I think, My Magic Mud. Were you selling it back at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, or was that even before you had started?
That was like within the first 6 months of us starting.
So tell me the story about how you created this.
And what is it for our listeners that don't know?
Black tooth powder.
So our original product was actually a home remedy that I had created for our family to help solve my daughter's sensitivity. And it turned out that it whitened like a dream, and we kept getting compliments. So my husband and I, years later, decided to start at our local farmers market, and it absolutely blew up from there. We've added toothpaste and so many other products to make it a little bit more easy to use, but I'll tell you, my heart is always going to be with that original powder that I was slinging at Porcupine Freedom Festival all those years ago.
I've purchased as a customer, by the way.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Well, then we're all users here.
Yeah.
I actually, I started with the powder, and I have used many of the other products that you guys have, and I think they're great as a supplement. But I really do feel like the core of it is the black charcoal bentonite clay product that you called My Magic Mud back in the day.
You're awesome. I love you for saying that.
And it is still called that today. You guys have had
right.
an incredible expansion over the last several years. When was this that you first started My Magic Mud? How long has it been
It
now?
was back in 2013.
Okay.
Was when we started. And
6 years.
Is just, it's blown up. And honestly, it's thanks to you guys and your listeners and our community for supporting us in those early years to really get the word out. We had no idea what we were doing. We just knew that we were onto something with an incredible product, and really without the community support, we would definitely not be where we are today.
So how did you ever come up with the notion? You said you created this as a home remedy, but, I mean, this isn't the kind of home remedy that people usually whip up. When my wife whips up toothpaste for my household, it's baking soda and some essential oils. It's not that darn difficult. How did you ever come up with the idea of charcoal. Is it charcoalized coconut husks and bentonite clay?
That's right. That's right. Really, what drew me to these ingredients was having was trying to create it for my kids. As we all know, children are very picky, and you can't shove baking soda and sea salt in their mouth without them whining about it. So I wanted to create something that not only would be effective, but that my children would actually use. So in doing, all this research online for months and months, I found that these two main ingredients, what drew me to them was not only their effectiveness, but the fact that they don't have any taste. So it kind of was just this thing that I stumbled on, thankfully, and the whitening effect that it just gave our entire family and friends and family that we had given it to afterwards was just unheard of. Absolutely crazy.
When you first talked to me about the whitening product, I never, I hadn't really thought about whether my teeth were stained or not. I mean, go figure. I drink a pot of coffee every day. Maybe they might be. But I really didn't think that. And you're like, oh, try it for like 4 days in a row and look at your teeth before and after you brush. And I did, and I really noticed that it absolutely did somehow wick the stains out of my teeth. Otherwise, I have no idea.
Like magic.
Well, it does say magic.
It's magic.
It's right in the title.
Right. Yeah.
I tend to think otherwise, but I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works. I guess the
chemistry.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it is, right? Somehow the charcoal.
It really has this incredible absorption power to pull the stains from the pores of the teeth. And I mean, I was on your show when we were at Porcupine Freedom Festival, and it was kind of an uphill battle convincing people because it's so counterintuitive. Mm-hmm. But honestly, in the last 6 years, even the mainstream Colgate and Crest and all of the big dogs in toothpaste and oral care have come to find that activated charcoal really does work. So it's really interesting to see all of these other brands coming out with that, and knowing that I had a small piece in disrupting the oral care industry. It's kind of a cool feeling.
And fluoride free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only have you disrupted it, but as I understand it, there are competitors now. Like, you're not the only game in town when it comes to this.
Yeah. Well, it was like my best kept secret. We couldn't keep it under wraps for a long run.
You can't sell it and keep it a secret.
Right.
You can't.
I know when I saw you guys, you signed up with an advertising deal with JP Sears, I think a year or two ago or something like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that for listeners that don't know? Are you guys familiar with this guy?
I'm familiar.
Okay.
JP Sears is hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah. My buddy went to see him live.
So
once.
I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
Like when we got him to help us get the word out about our brand, I really was so taken back because that was like he's a star in my mind. He's so funny. I watched his show and listened to his YouTube videos every day. And
for listeners that don't know, let me interrupt you just for a moment. He's the long-haired YouTube hippie-looking guy
who
does
bright red hair.
Yeah, he does
really
Awaken with JP, and he really just makes fun of all the kind of woo-woo, frou-frou,
That's a dangerous advertiser, though, because you might not take him seriously when it's going like, try this My Magic Mud stuff.
Yeah, well, he subscribes to that, but he also finds the humor in it as well. Like, I love that. I think that it very much goes along the line of what my husband and I do in our daily life and our family. We know how absurd, homeschooling and all that is to the outside world, and we can laugh at it, and yet we still subscribe to it, and we still do it, and we still love it, and we have our life that we've made, and we can laugh with the outsiders and still be totally fine.
That's what I always felt watching him, was that like he knows all this stuff so well. He's clearly, into it himself, but is able to just lampoon himself and those belief systems, which obviously do go to some ridiculous extremes in a lot of cases. And so when I saw him advertising for My Magic Mud, I just thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was such a perfect fit.
Yeah,
I
it really was.
did. Like we love. I mean, in our advertising before, we didn't try to shy away from the mess. I mean, we did a music video that was absolutely hysterical.
The mess of you're getting black,
you're getting black
fluid.
If you're not doing it right, you're getting it everywhere. Yeah. And it was kind of like a fun funny way of teaching people how to use the product properly so that they wouldn't make a mess everywhere. But we can also laugh at how ridiculous it sounds to whiten your teeth with this absolutely jet black powder or toothpaste, you know?
It does take all the stains, absolutely. And
it really does.
I've come up with systems because I've been brushing with My Magic Mud for, I don't know, at this point, 8, 9 years. I don't know how long it has been. But I've got several different systems. Among them is just swallowing it. I mean, not every single time, but I'll just swallow it. There's it doesn't have fluoride in it.
And it's actually good for you. No, there's no fluoride in it, no chemicals. It does a great job at just detoxifying your body if you do swallow it. I know that sounds really weird to say, but
if I've just taken my
one of the reasons why I loved it.
If I've just taken my heart pills, the high blood pressure pills I take, I won't swallow it
that's
because
a good idea.
I don't want it to bond with those.
Of course,
because that's what it does. It bonds with things.
It does.
I was going to ask because I've never swallowed it. Is that recommended then?
Well, I wouldn't call it recommended.
Okay,
not
it's a choice you can make,
but it's okay.
Prescription drugs, but it's not harmful. Other than if you're taking pharmaceuticals.
Jessica, can you hang on for a moment here? We're going to bring you back because I heard that My Magic Mud is even available in places like Walmart now. So I just love kind of talking about.
I want to talk about that.
I love talking about the success story and of this whole line and how this happened. 855-450-FREE is the toll-free number. There's a code, I believe, for Free Talk Live listeners. If I am correct about that, we'll share that with you here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Our planet is but a giant petri dish swirling with pathogens, all mixed by the filthy stirring straw that is the world's fauna. Simply by sitting on her eggs and breathing, this duck unleashes a torrent of avian botulism, cholera, and duck plague into the air. These jousting elk slough off bits of skin and fur, sending millions of harmful bacteria into the air. Our closest relative, the chimpanzee, is itself the fountainhead of AIDS. Bitter at the ascendancy of man, these scheming apes brood this deadly virus in their jungle lairs. Nowhere on Earth is safe from the threat of animals. Even in the bitter wasteland of the Antarctic, penguins walk for miles inland, ensuring their afflictions reach every corner of the globe.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk live Sunday edition of the program. We're talking with a successful entrepreneur, one of the founders of My Magic Mud, which you can go to mymagicmud.com, and we are going to get we have a code, but as we determined, it actually apparently we started running the ads for My Magic Mud 3 days too early or something like that. So if you've been trying to use the code, it hasn't worked up until now, but we are going to
still worth full price though.
Jessica is tapping away busily trying to remedy this as we speak. But I agree. I mean, it's an affordable product, and do you guys even charge shipping on this site? I mean, what's the shipping deal?
We have a minimum, like if you place a minimum order, then it's free shipping.
Sweet.
Which is pretty affordable, but even if it's not, I think it's like $2.
Not bad.
Like that. Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Something that is really important is to make it affordable for everybody. That's why with the powder we put so much product in there for a very small price.
It lasts for quite a long time.
Yeah, it sure does.
It really, really does. It's like a 5 or 6 month tub of product.
I think that's what stuck out to be the most. Like I saw like the ounces, I went, whoa, that's kind of pricey per ounce. But then I just never ran out.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I was happy with the amount I got.
Because you told me, Jessica, how to use the product, I never read the instructions. You just said, brush your teeth with it for 3 or 4 days in a row, and then every 3 or 4 days after that, sort of as maintenance. And as a result, often I get compliments from the dental hygienist as to the sort of the cleanliness of my teeth as far as calculus goes on the surface, not in sort of the cracks.
I think it's called calculus.
We hear that a lot. I love it. Yeah, it's such a great response that we've gotten from our customers, especially when they go to the dentist and have like a great checkup, and the hygienist is raving about it. We actually have quite a number of dental hygienists and dentists nationwide that either carry the product or that recommend it, which is
that's got to help.
So great. Yeah, it really does.
So we were talking about just kind of generally about My Magic Mud and the kind of the business success, because I think that's an interesting story. I mean, you guys just started with, you cooking this stuff up in your own house, and then you expanded out. At some point, you ended up with a factory and shipping division, and at some point, you got to deal with Walmart. Tell me how that happened. That's the big leagues.
It was very important to me to have our products be where people were. And when we were at one of our expos and Walmart approached us, I thought that, some people say big bad Walmart, but truly that is where people are.
Yep.
And I thought it was really, really important to be able to offer our product not only at a good price point, but to also have it be where people are, and not just for this small niche of people that go and shop at health food stores, but to really have that amazing, clean, and honestly, like full body health to everybody. I thought that was really important. So it took a while. They weren't so sure at first because obviously charcoal is kind of weird, but after a bit, we got the deal, and it's been flying off the shelves at Walmart.
Wow.
So
I've heard
Yeah.
horror stories about Walmart strong-arming smaller vendors, and I assume you haven't experienced that, or?
We stay pretty on top of it, and I think that it's important to if you want to be in certain realms, like you need to be responsible for that relationship, and it can get kind of crazy, especially for somebody like everyone on our team. Almost everybody on our team has no industry experience. We're just kind of friends and family trying to make our way and live the most free that we can. So we've learned a lot along the way.
I bet.
We really have.
Well, and as I understand, Walmart has, systems, right? Like they've got advice. They can help, kind of try to make a process more efficient or whatever.
That's right. And they've honestly, they've let us, they've taught us how to grow to that next level. And it's been a challenge, and it's been a blessing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big challenge. I mean, you got to be ready to move some serious product if you're going to be. Is it in every Walmart, or is it in certain ones? I mean, how does that work?
It's so we're actually in the health section. Walmart recognized the importance and how customers are really leaning more towards natural and toxic-free ingredients, and so we are actually in the natural section. We're not in the oral care section. So any Walmart that has that natural section, we're in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a selection of their stores at this point.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So
what
there
is it like you say it's your whole family, and I know it is your whole family because I've seen the promotional videos. I've watched them. You've got the whole family and they're working.
The whole family. That's right.
What's this been like as far as a transformative situation where you're just a stay-at-home homeschool mom who's trying to figure out how to get your kids who have dental issues, get them some oral hygiene care, and then this invention of yours just kind of blows up over time? I mean, obviously, you're like a decade-long overnight success, but as
most overnight successes are.
You're right.
It has been just a wild wind. I never, if you would have told me this 6 years ago, I would have never believed you. But we've actually had an opportunity to take our children, because they are homeschooled, all over the world. If we've had an expo in Germany or in England, we've been able to take our children and to really give them that rich education and to show them history in the making. So it has been such a blessing. Also, I believe in the entrepreneurial spirit and being able to show my children that you can make your own life. You just have to, get up and do it. Has been a really big blessing for me as well. My two oldest, my oldest son is about to be 19, and I'm going to say that to try and hold back the tears while I'm saying that, but he works with us, and he's in compliance, and our daughter works with us in fulfillment, and she helps with social media, and my 9-year-old has actually helped develop some of our line extensions. We have a turmeric and cacao line that he actually helped me develop, which is so cool. And he was only like 7 at the time, which is amazing.
Who made the mouthwash? My wife is just crazy over that stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to keep that out of the cabinet and that from here on out.
That was actually a joint venture between my husband and I. It was a long time coming. We had bounced back and forth for about 2 years, and then finally we were able to get the formula right. And I drink it. I'm not even kidding you. I love it so much.
It is. It's a pleasant
so
thing to use in your mouth. I hadn't considered such a thing.
Swallow the mouthwash. Swallow the magic mud.
Well, there's nothing toxic in it. I mean, ask yourself this.
I don't know.
Ask yourself this: why are you putting things in your mouth that you can't swallow?
That's right.
That's the thing. That's the question that we really should be asking ourselves about these dental health products.
It's beautiful.
Jessica Armand, thank you for joining us here. By the way, the code for listeners, I'm sure it will be working shortly, is FTL20. So like Free Talk Live, FTL20 get you 20% off
at mymagicmud.com. Not at the Walmart.
Not at Walmart.
Yeah, not at Walmart.
Not at Walmart.
So please go to mymagicmud.com. Check out their wide variety of products, and we don't have every advertiser on, but we love you guys. So thank you, Jessica.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the continued support. You guys are awesome.
We got more coming up. Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free and join us here of the live Sunday edition of the show. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450 free like freedom. Coming up, Alabama, are they going to get rid of state marriages?
Scorched earth, baby.
You've got the story, Richie. We're going to get into that on the way, plus your calls and thoughts also welcome. And I do want to make sure that you know about AnyPay because it is the best point-of-sale system for accepting cryptocurrencies at your business. Whether it is, you've got some sort of mom and pop retail establishment with a cash register at it, or you're a service professional and you're going into somebody's home to fix their plumbing or whatever, AnyPay makes it super easy to accept cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin BTC, Dash, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, and others. They've got over, I think, 11 now. I think it's 11 is the number they've got, cryptos that they are accepting or allow you to accept easily through AnyPay. Here's what you do to get started. Go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com. Simple 4-step process. It will take you just moments to get your cryptocurrency wallet set up. If you've already got one, you're already one of the steps done. If you got a tablet at your register, you're almost halfway there. So it's super easy. You just load their app. It's for iOS. It's for Android. So whatever kind of tablet you've got, it's going to work for you. And you put your crypto addresses in the back end, and boom, you're good to go. You're accepting cryptocurrencies. I paid for my dinner tonight with Bitcoin Cash at one of the local shops here in downtown Keene.
As did I.
It's
Use
pretty
the,
sweet.
The Edge wallet.
So check them out over at helpmetakebitcoin.com. You've been holding out. You've been waiting on this. You thought it was too confusing. It's way easier than you thought it was.
By the way, for those that are waiting for cryptocurrency to die, Bitcoin is on another run. The currency that's been declared dead by multiple bankers multiple times is back running again.
8,600
every other week.
What's it up to right now?
It hit 87 earlier.
Yeah, it was
today.
like 87, 88, and then it jumped down
cow.
to 86.
Yep,
I don't think it hit
87.29 was the high.
So I think that we need to get the It's Over 9,000 memes ready because it's coming back.
Yeah, I think
See,
that
this
you'll
is another
probably see
thing
that.
I don't check enough, right? Like I'm
What, the
Don't
Bitcoin
check it.
price?
What's the point?
There is no point, but every once
It's
in a
fun
while,
to watch.
It's fun.
it can be fun to watch, but it's just one of those things.
Except
Like
when it's going down. Then it's not as fun.
Not
but
nearly as fun now.
unless someone mentions it, I don't even think to look at the price, and I'm holding.
I got one for you. I don't know if they have it for Apple, but because I see that looks like an iOS device. But Bitcoin Ticker Widget, great little app. And I think it exists, but I don't think you get like the widget aspect of it on iOS. But if you've got Android, you can put a little widget on your home screen that gives you the price. So whenever you're looking at your home screen, there's the current price of whatever your favorite cryptos are. You can select different. It's not just Bitcoin. It's a bunch of different ones. And you can price it in US dollars or your other, whatever fiat currency that you want. Or you can price it in Bitcoin. So it's also, Mark's got it. You've got the Bitcoin ticker. That's sweet. It's a sweet app. Isn't
I've
it?
got an Android phone, so I'm covered all the way around.
So you're good to go. I've got like at the bottom of my phone, it's Bitcoin BTC, Dash, and Bitcoin Cash all in a row. That way I know what they all are at any given moment. Because those are the big three kind of up here in New Hampshire, which is the crypto mecca.
Yes, I would agree.
Where you can actually spend crypto in real life on stuff. So anyway, helpmetakebitcoin.com. Get started there. We're going to continue here. We'll take your calls and thoughts. Speaking of Bitcoin, this so-called Satoshi guy, this guy who's claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, claiming to be the creator of Bitcoin.
Some people call him Photoshi.
That's funny.
Photoshi. That's what Photoshi.
Photoshi. So,
hey, he's got the copyright to the white paper.
He filed for a copyright, which apparently anyone can do if you've got $50 or something like that.
I could file a copyright on the Magna Carta. It doesn't mean I wrote it.
So this guy has, I guess, put out a manifesto and is claiming that Bitcoin will disappear. We will tell you more about that on the way. Let's go first to your calls, though. In fact, Sarah is on the line here in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, Little Caesars Pizza.
It's been a long time since I've had a Little Caesars. Did you have those in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They used to sell them out of Kmart for like $5. For
I remember
like
that.
Small, yeah.
Yep.
That was amazing.
Good times. What about them?
Oh, well, now they're going to serve meatless sausages now.
Meatless sausage. All right.
You're on a real meatless kick. The other day you called in about Del Taco going meatless on as an option. You can get some sort of protein meat, imitation meat protein thing.
I think it's coming.
Apparently, it's here.
Yeah, it could be a really good alternative to the amount of meat that Americans eat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how it works out, but I don't think it's.
Does it drip with grease though? Because then it's not as good, right? Like if it's not dripping,
it drips with a peanut oil or something.
They have to come up with something that's certainly very palatable.
So, are you one of these vegan types? Are you a vegetarian? What's your deal, Sarah?
No, I eat meat, but I'm just so impressed that I like to eat meatless for like 3 to 5 days because it just feels so good. I feel cleaner. I feel lighter. And I just feel like my whole body is like detoxing. So I really like that feeling for like 3 to 5 days. Nice. I mean, I tried being a vegetarian for like 2 weeks, and I went back to eating like meat again.
Yeah, it's sad to fail. I would agree with you.
Sad to fail?
It's sad. It doesn't feel good to fail. So if you say to yourself, I'm never eating meat again, or I'm never drinking alcohol again, or I'm never doing this thing or that thing again that you're going to do.
Smoking.
Right.
But you know something? Here's the thing is that during that time, I really felt really good, and I got to try
Not good enough to not eat meat again, though.
I think that's always the biggest thing.
I needed that protein, and I think there's B vitamins or something like that. But what I'm saying is that when I tried all of these meatless sausages and meatless hot dogs and imitation chicken, I just remembered how good it was. It's like it tastes very good with all the seasoning, and they make it so.
They're better at it these days than they used to be in the past, right?
Maybe.
Like
their press on it is certainly better.
So I've got a friend who's big on the ketogenic diet, and he is as zealous in
is that the meat only thing? What's the keto? Which one?
The high protein, low to zero carb diet.
That's where you're eating a bunch of meat, right?
Basically,
yeah,
because it's high protein. It doesn't have to be, but it's high protein. It's
is
high
that the
protein,
same as
low
Atkins?
Carb. I want to say similar, but I'm not going to get into that because then he'll get on my case for calling it something.
Atkins
it's not.
Is dead.
It's pretty much
not
dead, but it's the same idea.
We all die.
Right. Not the guy.
Oh, your friend's
my
gonna
keto. But if I go like, what's the same as Atkins? No, it's not, bro.
No, it's not.
Totally not. Because he is just as zealous as the vegans and as the vegetarians are with their diet. But the point that he makes regarding the vegetarian and the vegan diet is, if that were so good, if the vegan diet and the vegetarian diet were so phenomenal, they wouldn't try to make all their food taste like the meat alternatives. Right? There wouldn't be like a chicken flavored veggie or whatever, or a tofurkey, because they're always trying to they know the meat is good.
Sure.
And so they're trying to flavor their not meat the same way as the meat. And you could just eat the meat and lose weight and be healthy and do all those things with the ketogenic diet, bro.
Do you think tofurkey is a FCC compliant word?
When you eat like a meatless chicken or something like that, let's say, but you feel less grouchy. When you eat meat, you're irritated. You're grouchy. You feel like really heavy. That's the feeling that you skip. And I just want to say it's really good for people to do it for 3 to 5 days. Just give a meat a break and just substitute all the meat recipes like spaghetti.
Well, there you go. Sarah's health tips. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. You know what? If it feels good for you, then I say go for it. And it's nice that options are available for people, especially with, you're hearing about these big companies she was talking about, giving people a choice. It's great. It's something that the marketplace is demanding. So kudos.
Yeah, I've had several friends who don't eat meat, and the reasons that they say aren't the annoying reasons. It's instead the reasons I just don't like the way it makes me feel when I eat it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Cool.
And that's a great, who's got an argument for that?
Nobody.
I'm not here jamming bacon down your throat.
Yeah.
But if you want to have arguments about the morality of consuming meat, well, then I'm going to probably have some things to say about
I just think what usually gets left out is the exercise part of healthy diet and exercise. Everyone wants to change the way they eat, but no one wants to put in the work in the gym.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You don't have to go to the gym. I mean, just go outside and go for a walk if you want. That helps a little bit. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, Get one free
at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the show. You can dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. Coming up, will Alabama eliminate marriage licenses? We'll get into that. Richie's got that story. And also want to make sure you know if you're going to get into cryptocurrency, you got to have a wallet. So we recommend that you use Edge Wallet. That is the one that I use more than any other wallet. And I've tried a lot of cryptocurrency wallets over time. I want to know what the best wallets are. And Edge is my preference. And that was true before they became an advertiser here on Free Talk Live. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. They make it easy, especially for a new user, to get into cryptocurrency, because to get into Edge, all you have to do is create a username and password. Whereas with the other crypto wallets, you got to write down 12 words or 18 words or 24 words, and you got to keep those in a safe place. You still ought to write down your username and password
keys.
with Edge because they can't recover them for you if you lose one or the other.
Well, they can recover them if you set it up so that they can do the recovery. But
well, there's a backup thing that you can do with something like that. But you can't just like click recover password and then have them send you an email. It doesn't work that way. So you got to take your keys really seriously when it comes to cryptocurrency, and they give you plenty of warnings about that when you create the account.
I live by the credo: not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
Exactly, or your Bitcoin Cash, or Ethereum, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. They got a lot of different cryptos that allow you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold with your Edge wallet. It's available on iOS and Android, and of course, it's free. Secure your freedom by going to edge.app to learn more. That's edge.app. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's talk about this Alabama situation. They were in the news recently. I guess the governor down there passed some really restrictive ban on abortions. Is that right? Was that Alabama?
Signed it. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just the governor. I mean, the legislature did it too.
Sure. Well, it wouldn't have gotten to the governor if the legislature hadn't done it.
Introduced by a woman. I'd like to point that out.
Signed by a woman, the governor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
Well, because many of the Democrats will be out there. This is about women's rights and men, fat white men telling us how our bodies. Right.
Like whenever that's definitely the left talking point.
Whenever I see somebody protesting in front of Planned Parenthood, it's always a woman. So.
Well, I understand that.
I think women have different opinions on this issue.
I absolutely, Ian. That's a very egalitarian opinion that you have because your mind hasn't been sullied by those out there that would have you would suggest that this is all about identity politics. And identity politics is a big fat lie, largely. So all I'm trying to do is point that out.
Gotcha. So they stirred up some controversy over the abortion issue. Now, what's going on, Richie?
So Alabama goes scorched earth over same-sex marriage, votes to eliminate marriage licenses and weddings altogether.
And who's your source on this? What's the website?
Law and Crime, probably .com. I don't have that right in front of me. So I think right in the headline, it kind of gives you the reason why. It's to overcome some objection to same-sex marriage. The Alabama House of Representatives just passed a bill that is a slap in the face of marriage equality. Since gay weddings are to be on equal footing with straight ones, Alabama will make all weddings meaningless. So
really,
here's the thing, right? It's already bigoted in the outset towards same-sex couples, but the end result is
more freedom.
So it's a weird catch-22 type of situation.
And this does still make things equal. Like if you are, this is something we've been talking about for years on Free Talk Live, the idea of let's get the state out of marriage entirely.
Yes.
Because then you have an agreement between not just you and the person that you love, but also a third party. The state is party to your agreement. They have the ability to decide. If you want to divorce, they decide where things go. They become a very, very important partner in your relationship.
Right. They define what a marriage is.
Yeah.
And they define the terms of a marriage. And I think that every marriage is unique. And you have to determine what your marriage is to you. And you probably should write some of that stuff down as an agreement. And if for whatever...
It's a contract.
Yeah, ultimately it is a contract. It's a contract to live together, share a life, share finances. You can share whatever you want to share. I don't care what you people do with your lives. That's up to you.
Right. I don't want the state in my contracts, any of them.
Right. Nor do I.
Nor do I.
So this is great news. Tell me more.
Lawmakers have decided sections yada 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 of the Alabama Code should be amended to abolish any requirement that couples getting married obtain marriage licenses or have even the wedding ceremonies at all. Now those wishing to marry can just fill out some forms, submit them to the probate office, and emerge as spouse and spouse. Easy peasy. The bill passed 67-26, was sponsored by Alabama State Senator Greg Alberton, and has both the Alabama wedding industry and advocates for LGBT rights up in arms.
Well, why would the advocates for LGBT rights be upset about this?
Because they want marriage equality. They want to be able to marry.
They do have marriage equality. Everybody has.
No, they want a license.
Well,
because a license makes it
Won't they be
real.
getting a license that's from the spouse and spouse thing?
No, it doesn't sound like it.
No.
They're talking about eliminating licenses.
Well, that should be very interesting when you're talking about people's, insurance and stuff like that. It's going to be very complicated to limit.
Well, I think that's what the probate court thing comes into play. Now, the probate court is still some level of governmental involvement, but it's more of like an acknowledgement than it is anything else.
It's
right?
it's more of it seems to be more of a recognition than an actual licensure to do
Right.
it. You come out spouse and spouse, doesn't matter,
Right,
male,
so-
male, female, female, male, female.
You want to do something with insurance or whatever, and they require some proof that you are married, then you
That
get
would be
this.
a license.
You get this. No, in this case, it would be from Alabama. It would be them saying you're a spouse.
Okay.
So that here you
I don't
go.
know.
Here you go, insurer. Here's a piece of paper from a government. It says we're spouses, but it's not a marriage license.
I don't see the difference here in between a piece of paper that says I'm married and a piece of paper
A
that says I'm
license
married.
is something you do when you ask permission.
Okay,
right?
so terminology. This is
well, this is
fine.
legal land. Okay, so legal land terminology is what it's all about. A license is something that you have to ask permission to do. Otherwise, it's a crime. Right? If you try to braid hair without a license in a place where you have to have a license, eventually, if they find out, they're going to send men with guns to come arrest you.
Right. A driver's license is a license is the ability to enact the privilege of directing a motor vehicle. Right.
You may know how to drive. You don't need to have a driver's license to know how
Driver's
to
licenses
drive.
don't make people good drivers.
No, not at all.
All you have to do is get on the road to figure that out.
Right.
That's what I tell people. 95% of all accidents are caused by licensed
drivers. Right, 99%.
Well, it's a made-up statistic just to make a point,
Right,
but you
yes.
get the idea.
Yeah, so licensing is all about asking for permission, whereas if what they're talking about here, if I'm understanding it correctly with this probate thing, that's just you sending in and getting a piece of paper from the government. That's not them giving you permission to get married or having jurisdiction over your marriage, so the divorce process would be private.
Could be different entirely. We don't know. Yeah.
It would be whatever it is within your religion or whatever your contract that you would have specifies. So instead of having to rely on the state's rules about divorce, all of a sudden now you're going to see marriage contracts start to get more specific. You're going to see more prenuptial agreements, I think, in these cases where certain specifications are laid out about, well, if this thing comes to an end, here's how it will come to an end.
Well, every contract should have an exit clause, and currently they do. Right, like a marriage contract has an exit clause because the state determines what that exit clause is going to be like. We're going to be involved, and we're going to determine what that exit clause looks like. Yeah. People are still going to walk away from divorces angry that things didn't work out the way that they wanted them to work out.
Of course,
that's not a surprise here. But
I think it will be less stressful because you don't have the state involved as this third-party arbiter.
The state's still going to be involved because people are going to take.
Well, if you go to court,
that's what we're talking about here. That's what happens in a divorce. I mean, you can have a no-fault divorce anyway. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your point on a license is valid as it could be. It's great. Right? Like, it's not called a license because you're allowed to do it. It's not called a license because it's a freedom or a right.
That's right.
It's a license because they let you do it.
Yeah.
So that's a great point.
You've asked permission and
if you
you've
think
given
the
them money.
state isn't involved in your marriage, when you go and get one of these probate pieces of paper, well, they still are.
That's the difference for me. It's permission versus recognition.
I'm with you.
That's
I
a
think
huge
that's,
change.
I think that any activist that's upset that Alabama's doing this is not seeing the big picture here, which is this is
huge.
This is great for humans generally.
Well, Alabama isn't a great place generally, but this is good news.
Let me read on a bit because this is kind of a crux to the article as well. I feel like it was born out of prejudice, said Alabama State Representative Neil Rafferty, who voted against the bill and is the only openly gay member of the Alabama House.
All right. I'm not going to disagree with him that it was born out of prejudice.
Could be.
Does that make it a bad idea?
No, but that's why the LGBT crowd is up in arms because it's prejudice against them.
Well, hyperventilate elsewhere.
All right, there's more on the way here. If you want to share your thoughts on ending the state's involvement in marriage, hopefully if this goes through, other states will follow suit. It's Free Talk Live.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-919-5435. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-919-5435. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-919-5435. 1-800-919-5435.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,280. Silver at $14.50. And Bitcoin is trading around $7,891. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the worst fears of Julian Assange's legal team have been realized. The Mind Unleashed reports that the Department of Justice has unveiled a slate of new charges against Assange, including 17 new counts of violating the Espionage Act, stemming from his role in publishing the classified documents leaked by Chelsea Manning. In addition to significantly raising the punishment threshold from a maximum of 5.5 years under the previous indictment to the prospect of a death sentence for violating the Espionage Act, the new charges will raise serious First Amendment issues, as Assange will become the first journalist charged under the Espionage Act. According to the New York Times, the Obama administration considered bringing the Espionage Act charges against Assange, but balked because it didn't want to raise the Fifth Amendment issue. While WikiLeaks had warned of the possibility, they suspected that the United States would wait until Assange was on American soil before bringing Espionage Act-related charges. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Saudi-led coalition's war on Yemen shows little sign of dwindling. And now, over 4 years after it began, its borders are increasingly fluid, as Yemen's Houthi movement increasingly takes the fight to Saudi Arabia soil. Minpress News reports that last Monday, the Houthis announced that amid increasingly grim prospects for peace, they would begin a campaign to target 300 vital Saudi-led coalition military and economic targets, including military headquarters and facilities inside Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Saudi-led coalition military targets inside Yemen. The fourth attack in the 300-target blitz came Thursday, when Yemen's army, loyal to Houthis, launched a drone strike against a U.S.-made Saudi Patriot air defense system at the Najran Regional Airport in southern Saudi Arabia. The airport lies 840 kilometers southwest of Riyadh, near the Saudi-Yemen border, and has been targeted twice in several days. Western Europe is home to a cluster of developed economies that boost some of the highest standards of living in the world. But that could soon change. The Mind Unleashed, citing NBC News, says that IQ scores in France, Scandinavia, Britain, Germany, and even Australia are beginning to decline. The trend has been well documented across Western Europe and could soon carry over to the United States. The data, simply put, means the world is getting dumber. Possible explanations for the drop include the rise of smartphones and other devices, which have worn away the ability to focus, the rise of lower-skill service work that isn't as intellectually stimulating, and less nutritious food. Whatever the cause, the trend seems to portend a decline in long-term productivity and economic success, factors that have long been correlated with IQ. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A hot new murder craze sweeps Chicago. Things that shouldn't be said in modern society are said 1,400 times at the RNC, and a brave woman enters a restaurant without first looking it up online. This is the Onion Week in Review. The World Wildlife Fund quickly backtracked Thursday from a recently released press statement saying panda ears are, quote, absolutely delicious. Organization officials noted that while panda ears do taste amazing braised, steamed, fried, or cooked in an omelet, they should not have announced it publicly, nor should they have ever eaten any part of a cheetah, giraffe, or Bengal tiger, no matter how good they may be. According to company sources, the Netflix board of directors held a tense series of meetings earlier this morning to decide whether the fantasy comedy Michael is stream-worthy. The board reportedly sat through its mandatory 2 back-to-back screenings of the 1996 film starring John Travolta as an angel visiting Earth, all while passionately arguing over the film's story, acting, and level of enjoyment upon subsequent viewings to determine if the movie should be available through its instant viewing program.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. 855-450-3733. We're talking about a surprising bit of news out of Alabama, where apparently the House of Representatives has passed a bill, 67-26. It is now going to the governor's office for potential signature. Now, I don't know if the governor has made a statement as to whether or not, I believe it's a she.
It is a she.
Is going to sign this bill. But this would be a good thing to actually end government involvement in issuing marriage licenses, to end licensure of what should be a private agreement in the first place. There never should have been government involvement in marriage. Now, the interesting thing here is that the reason why the government got involved in marriage in the first place was because of bigotry, was it not? If I recall correctly, it was because
there is a aspect of the government's involvement in marriage licensure, the ubiquity of marriage licensure.
Didn't they want to keep blacks from marrying whites, basically? Some racist government goons?
That's my recollection as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the reason why marriage licenses were created. And so
it's the reason they became ubiquitous.
If it's indeed now supposedly bigotry, that is the reason why they're going to get rid of the marriage license. It's a strange in and out, isn't it? Like, that's the reason it started, and that's the reason it's ending now.
Well, it's all about controlling people. Most of the problems in this world, problems basically come in 2 categories. Man versus nature, man versus man, right? Man versus man is almost entirely a control aspect.
Mm-hmm.
One person wants to control the behavior of another person, and they use different mediums for doing that. Some of them use the state, and in many cases, we don't even see how they do it. But things like marriage licensure is absolutely a way that they use to control us. And it's one that's widely adopted to the point that, people are rushing off to do this. They give the government money to participate in their little licensure program.
Well, they have to.
When they don't have to.
If you want to be married under the state's auspices, you have to give them money.
If you
have to obey
some of the benefits to living together, yes.
Some states will even consider you married if you live together for too long.
I think Washington was like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have legally been married in Washington, but me and my girlfriend at the time were probably common law married there, just based on how long we were in the state living together.
Yeah, it could be claimed afterwards. Usually, common law marriage is only meaningful when it breaks up.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, was there more from the story that you wanted to share on this?
Yes, because the other aspect of it, aside from the born out of bigotry, is what this will do to the wedding industry in Alabama. Some in the wedding business in Alabama worry that the legal change will make their entire industry obsolete.
Why?
Wedding venue owner Don Booz explained that under the new law, I now pronounce you man and wife will be totally meaningless because that man and wife union happens at the courthouse. That's certainly something of a plot twist. Well, if you're in the business of signing marriage license and people come to you as the officiant or whatever, and that's part of your business plan, and now they don't need to do that because they just go to the probate court, you're kind of out of a job.
Okay, I guess, but you could always go to the court and get the court marriage, right? Like you could always go down to the town clerk or whoever it was that did it before and do the most bare bones legal process kind of marriage. This in no way is going to harm those people who are running the business of, here is a place where you can have a wedding, right? There's all these places that people can rent.
Sure.
Some of them are pretty locations, outdoors. Some of them are churches or whatever. There's these different places.
I'm sure I agree with the guy who's complaining that, in fact, there's going to be problems. Sure there are. Some people in Alabama, because this only affects people that live in Alabama. You can't go to Alabama and not get a license, right?
We're going to Alabama to not get married.
Right. So there's no tourist draw here. Now, is there the opposite? Is there a vacuum created? Yes. Some people will want the legal government marriage, so they will go to Florida or Mississippi or Tennessee or Georgia, and they will get some government to marry them. And yes, venues,
unless this catches on and you start seeing states, all over the place abolishing marriage.
It sounds like a libertarian pipe dream.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Well, start somewhere.
I didn't expect to see this happen at all. Government marriage is such a ubiquitous thing that I didn't expect this to happen in my lifetime.
I didn't expect it to happen either, and I don't know that it's going to.
And it hasn't happened yet. The governor hasn't signed it yet.
And with my wife and my ex girlfriend, we were together for quite a while. The question I always brought up to them was, well, what do you want? Do you want to be married or do you want to have a wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to be married, we could just go down to the courthouse and sign the paperwork.
Right, they want a wedding.
They want a wedding.
Yeah, they want their day.
Right. So with my wife now, we had a wedding, and then I didn't sign any paperwork.
Oh, really?
Really. So we're married in the eyes of everyone, friends, family, people who.
Did you encounter the family members who got all huffy about the fact that you weren't going to have the license? Like, did they find out that you weren't getting licensed and kind of look down their noses at you?
Nope.
Really?
If they did, they talked to her and she buffered it because it never got to me.
Good to know.
But I was very clear about that. We can have the wedding, we can do the reception, we can do all of that.
Do you have a contract? Do you have some sort of an agreement between the two of you?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I signed nothing. Now her concern was, well, what about end of life or hospital care and visitations? And I went, well, every time I've been in the hospital, like no one's ever stopped people who said they're friends and family from coming to visit me. So I don't think you're going to have a problem
checking
there.
ID and doing a DNA test.
And if you want power of attorney in any way, go write it up and I'll sign it over because I really don't care that much, about certain things. And it's not like I hold a lot of assets and in order to stay out of the scope of government interference, I purposefully don't hold a lot of assets. So I'm not concerned about, getting screwed over by some power of attorney relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, these things can change as time goes by, but nonetheless.
And if it does, I can revoke it, right? Like I don't. It's
true.
Yeah. So so our relationship, like she's my wife, I'm her husband, but it's not it's not part of the state, and it's not in any church. It's just
Where did you guys go? Was it what was the facility that you went to?
Went to the beach. Didn't even get the permit for the space.
Oh yeah, civil disobedience wedding.
She picked a spot, and then we said, well, okay, if we get there and there's people at the beach, there's
Just
another
move
tree
down.
down the way, and she's like, well, what if people congregate? And I'm like, well, we'll get this thing done real quick. We had about 10, 15, maybe I don't think it was more than 15 guests.
Well, people love seeing a wedding anyway,
right?
So who cares?
Yeah, what's wrong with that little congregation?
So we drove up. Half an hour later, we were done out of there, and that was it.
Wow.
Here's
cool.
Her she had a friend who ministered it, and she does it professionally. So it's not like we had
paid her.
She was paid.
That's what I'm saying is I think your point, Mark, is true. Like there will be some sort of attrition likely of the people who want to get a license. So they're
but they may go get the license in Florida or Georgia or whatever, and then come back and have the wedding at home.
They might.
There's people who travel away for weddings too.
Sure.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Run off to Vegas, right? The old shotgun wedding in Vegas.
Right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say her brother eloped on a cruise ship. Like basically said, we're having a wedding on the cruise ship. If you want to attend the wedding, you have to go on the cruise with us.
There you go.
All right.
So we did not go to that one.
So I think that there may be some amount of attrition, but I think that this is not going to be as big of a deal as many people are thinking it's going to be. I think they're worried their business is going to get hurt in some sort of dramatic fashion, and I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think people are going to see this as making weddings easier. You don't have to jump through as many hoops. You don't have to send in the notice to the government if you want to. You can still send the notice into the probate court if you want. But it's not required anymore.
I think that the idea that they have a license, a piece of paper that says that you may get married is about the most insulting thing around.
Who says?
The government says that.
The permission to get married.
Yeah,
50, all 50 states in the United States, and then most governments around the world do this same little act, which is just a way to tax
money.
People who want
it's control,
extra little sanctity added to their wedding ceremony. Now the government says it's okay too.
So one more piece, real quick, before we hit the break.
Yep.
The concern that it's too easy now. Under the amended statute, 16 and 17-year-olds are good to go as long as one parent sends a notarized affidavit to the probate court.
Sounds fine to me. More coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450, free like freedom. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehash stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise. Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-FREE. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
Bitcoin.com, your premier source for everything Bitcoin Cash related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin Cash wallet, buy Bitcoin Cash, and show you where you can spend your Bitcoin Cash. You can read the latest news and engage with the community on their forums. Just go to bitcoin.com and get ready for the launch of their new website, local.bitcoin.com. It's coming up on June 4th. The site is online right now. You can actually go and create an account there. It's going to be a way for you to sell and to buy Bitcoin Cash with other people in your area or maybe halfway across your country. It's going to be an interesting site. I'm looking forward to trying it out. I'm a longtime fan of these types of sites. I'm looking forward to seeing how they've done it and how good of a job they've done. It looks good so far. I do have an account created. You can create a trade for selling Bitcoin Cash right now, but it's not actually something that somebody can jump onto yet until they open up the floodgates, so to speak, on June 4th. So that's coming up in just over a week.
I'm excited about that because once local Bitcoin started asking for ID verification to create seller ads, it kind of, for me personally, it went downhill from there.
And they won't be doing that at local.bitcoin.com. There's going to be no know your customer requirements. Although individual sellers may have their own requirements, the site itself will not require that in order to sign up.
That's huge.
All of the conversations that you have with your buyers or sellers will be encrypted, so the site will not have access to those conversations unless you want to grant them access. So let's say you have a dispute with a sale, something goes wrong or whatever, you need to bring an arbitrator in, you can then grant that arbitrator access to see. But otherwise, the site itself will not know, which is pretty cool.
That's huge, especially with all the know your customer requirements going around on various exchanges.
Exactly. So I'm excited about it. Check it out at local.bitcoin.com. And we go back to your calls and thoughts here. We've been talking about Alabama potentially going to be the first state to repeal marriage licensing. Let's talk to Larry in Indiana, listening to WGBF in Evansville. Hello, Larry.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Real quickly on the Alabama thing, I think that's just basically going to throw it back into the realm of a legal civil union involving the probate courts. And I don't think, and that's where you mentioned it a little bit earlier, that's where the LGBTQ plus community were at prior to insisting upon marriage license. They were in civil unions. Some of them were participating in civil unions, which legally provides all the same benefits as a marriage does.
But they didn't like that term.
Well, I mean, I can understand why.
That's my point.
I can understand why somebody would want to be treated the exact same way as other couples are being treated, and I understand why people look at licensure as legitimizing. I don't think it is, because I see the government as a criminal gang of violent thugs that wants to enforce their way upon me. But I understand that people are raised in this mindset that if the government says it's legal and they've got a license, then it's more real. Yeah. It's more legitimate. Right. And so I can understand why they pushed for that, and I don't blame them for it.
You wouldn't go to an unlicensed contract.
Okay. Sorry, you both talked at the same time.
Larry's analysis is spot on.
Oh, I was saying you wouldn't go to an unlicensed contractor or unlicensed vendor.
I would.
Well, you
here in New Hampshire, contractors don't have licenses.
Oh my!
Really? My God, how do things get built?
Well, the other reason I called was to ask for Mark's clarification on something that the other night, and then take issue with him on something else. So
go ahead.
Yeah, and during the second hour last night, and I get delayed program, so I begin listening at 9 Central. So I couldn't have called in at that point.
No problem at all.
During the second hour, you were talking about a particular topic, and you said, and referring to yourself as a journalist, and then you went on and made your comment. Third hour, then you were talking about another topic, and you said, "I'm not a journalist."
Yeah, I think that I'm slippery on this topic, and I agree with you. You're right? Like, I'm not really a journalist, but I can kind of play one now and then on the radio. Have we ever broken stories here on Free Talk Live? Sure, we've broken stories. I've never taken.
I just wanted a clarification.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify. We've broken stories, but I've never taken any journalism classes. I don't know what the ethics of journalism are or anything like that. I respect the profession, and they make it possible for me to do my job as a commentator, which certainly I can claim. Or pundit.
The point I wanted to take issue with you with concerning something you said the other night. You were talking, again, I don't know the topic, but you had referred to, you said either those, or these fat, lazy, North American union workers. And I will agree with the disdain a lot of people have for unions in that their union leadership in recent years has been siding more with the socialist side of things than with the free labor and free market as well. But to call, when you said those are the fat, lazy North American union workers, you probably got some union workers, some blue-collar, rank-and-file union workers listening to your program out there. And I don't think, all blue-collar, rank-and-file union workers are fat and lazy.
No, I don't think they are either. I think if what I was...
So I just like you to correct that statement, because you didn't make that last night.
Did you mean all union workers are fat and lazy, Mark, or did you just mean the fat and lazy union workers?
What I would say would be that if somebody believes that they need the state to prevent other people from competing against them, that is a form of laziness, is what I would like to say regarding it. How's that?
Here's one thing I learned about insults as well, is if you take offense to an insult, it's probably because you believe what the other person is saying about you subconsciously.
I'm not a union worker. Never have been a union worker.
I'm just saying.
Point. But when you say these, the, or those, then the implication is.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I think it's worth a clarification. Thanks. It's worth making the call for.
Larry, thanks for calling in tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. And I appreciate him taking the time to call on another night, because he couldn't do it live. So he made a note and he said, "I'm calling tomorrow."
Yeah,
and he did. So thank you for that.
Right. I'm an old-time fan of wrestling. Still am a fan of wrestling.
Yep.
And I just remember, one of the old commentators.
You mean professional
wrestling. Bobby Heenan shouting at the top of his lungs that he's a broadcast journalist. So when I heard what Mark said, now that was what went through my head, is he may not be a real journalist, but he's a broadcast journalist.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever claimed to be a journalist. I mean, generally, if you're a journalist, you have to kind of give both sides of the story. I think typically you want to be unbiased, or at least appear to be unbiased, and I clearly am biased.
A propagandist.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. But that doesn't mean that I can't break news. So you could be, not a journalist, but you can still break news stories or whatever.
Well, if you're fulfilling the role of journalism, you can kind of put the hat on for a little while and say, I'm a journalist.
Well, only if you're doing journalism, which is to say giving both sides a fair shake. And
journalists do some things.
Yeah.
One of those things is trying to appear unbiased. Another thing that they do is break stories. So if you're breaking stories, you can claim some part of the little journalism crown. But again, I do like to differentiate. I think they're doing the yeoman's work out there.
We got more coming up here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We're here live on Sunday night, as we are every single night of the week, and you can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live. So normally there would be.
What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can dial in toll-free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms, and you will sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us if you're on one of those calls. We'll get into one of those here in just a moment. Your calls and thoughts are welcome, though. 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
All right, so coming up here, Mark, you want to talk about city-states. Not sure what about them, but we're going to get into that. It's a very important story to you, and if we get a chance, would you vote for Trump? Would you become a single-issue voter and vote for Donald Trump? Well, you don't want to vote for anybody. But if Donald Trump sets Ross Ulbricht free, if Donald Trump commutes the sentence of Ross Ulbricht, the man who is currently behind bars for 2 life sentences plus 40 years, he's exhausted all of his appeals. He will never see any semblance of freedom again in his entire life unless Donald Trump sets him free. If that happens, and you care about Ross and you care about ending the war on drugs, would that be enough to get you to vote for Donald Trump in 2020? That is the question that I have asked over on freekeen.com in a blog post that I made today after speaking with Ross's mother on the phone this week about just that very idea. So we can talk about that too. But let's go to the phones and to the fun. We've got Matt on the line. He's calling from Mississippi on our Discord call-in lines. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, guys.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. The marriage thing in Alabama is a trip. The way I view it is, the state's trying to back off from the whole left agenda of, hey, well, we don't have to really call it marriage. But what I wanted to bring up was that, marriage itself, it's a very old institution. And back in the day, it wasn't romantic. It was purchasing women as
Really?
they were as if they were property, or at least that's my understanding. If we go back
You
far
talking about
enough,
arranged marriages?
I think
or
that
actually
still exists in some countries, too.
Or buying slaves?
Well, yeah, maybe. No, I'm talking about like before the 1700s or so. It really was a contract. The father of the bride says, "I'm going to sell you my daughter. Give me this much money." And I didn't know if you all were aware of that, or maybe I was just reading some crackhead webpage.
Well,
but I
I
just
think
want to
that
get your guys' thoughts on that.
it varies from place to place. So what we're talking about here, in some places, the daughter came with money too. So in that case, are they buying the groom, or are they selling the daughter with the
exactly? And there's
the promo
there's
package. Who knows?
There's a bride price, or there's a dowry. The money flows this way, the money flows that way. But at the end of the day, women were, back, hundreds of years ago, they were kind of like the lesser.
I don't think we have to go back hundreds of years.
"Quote unquote," purchased in such a fashion. It didn't really have anything to do with love or equality.
Well, I'm not sure it didn't have anything. I think that to some extent you're talking about sort of royal arranged marriages, which probably had far less to do with her more to do with her vast tracts of land than her vast tracts of land, right? Like less being attracted to a person and more than what they brought to the kingdom and those kinds of things. I think the peasants, which are the vast majority of people, probably got together with whomever was available in the given town, or what maybe there was these dances where people in regions would come, and the folks have always been good at getting their young people in front of other young people to see who clicks with whom. And I think that you probably saw more of that back then, the part of the stuff that we don't have written down. So I don't think it was all about, this thing being bought or that thing being bought. Yes, I think that in relationships, a man's stronger shoulder girdle has been important in his role in the relationship, as has a woman's ability to have children is important in their role in the relationship. There's always the option of choosing simply not to get married if somebody wants something that looks more like freedom or something. But having been married myself now for something like 15 years or something, this whole idea that the man's in charge of the woman, I don't know how the hell that would ever have worked.
So here's how that would have worked then.
Yeah.
Because the reason I said you don't have to go back very far is because at some point a news story crossed my desk some years ago, and it was a marriage arrangement website.
Okay.
Probably down south, where it was, Christian fathers selling off their underage daughters for a fee. Right?
What?
I'm serious. It was like, instead of Christian mingles, like Christian marriage or something like that.
Wow.
But for $50,000, you could get a 16-year-old, and he would sign the paperwork. She would be married, and you're out $50,000. And that's how the man stays in control, because you have an older man purchasing the marriage of a much younger female, and can dominate her as well as he wants to.
Couldn't she just divorce the person? I mean,
sounds like it.
Yeah. So what would stop her from doing that?
Culture.
It's strange and fringy.
It's definitely strange and fringy, but it exists.
It's been my understanding that it was more commonplace if we backtrack 500 years,
sure,
where that was just kind of more like the norm.
Mm-hmm.
That people just viewed, okay, well, you're a woman, so you're just a little bit less. So, this is how it works. This is how marriage works. It's really the transfer of a daughter to, first dad owns the daughter, and then husband owns the daughter.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the idea behind marriage back in the day.
And that's what this was. It was the father
Right.
selling the daughter to the new husband for a fee.
Yeah, well, what did you get out of the deal, though, when you're talking about this new husband and the owning process? Exactly what does this ownership, what rights and privileges are brought with this ownership that is so friggin' awesome?
Well, clearly sex with an underage girl.
Well, in the case of the internet thing you're
Yes.
talking about, and yes, I do believe that there were probably more relationships between older men and younger women when arranged marriages were happening. And that probably the biggest benefitor of this new system that we have is young men. I mean, all you have to do is talk to a young man for a short period of time, and you'll realize only a young woman would date him. I mean, they're stupid, annoying, beasts.
Well, cougars exist too.
What's
That's
that?
true.
Cougars exist too.
They do. I don't know how they put up with it. I
They
think
like
that
to show them the ropes.
I don't think that this whole marrying
Literally.
for love thing is that darn awesome. I think about some of the young ladies that I dated in high school, and they weren't the highest quality gal. And if I would have listened to my grandmother perhaps a little more,
What was she trying to tell you?
Well,
She's not good enough for you, honey.
no, she was saying, that's a loser.
Oh.
And one of the ladies that she was very adamant about recently died of a speedball overdose.
Oof.
Okay? So, grandma died first, but this lady died at like 41.
Wow.
That's an exaggeration. Call it 45. She's a little younger than me, but not much.
Matt, anything else you want to share?
No, that's it. Oh, well, actually, since you guys brought up Ross Ulbricht, hopefully hopefully we certainly want him to get off. And an interesting question: Would we vote for Trump if he pardoned Ross while he's trying to throw Assange under the bus as we speak?
I'd like
And
to
I'll
see
leave
the
it at that.
Assange pardon also, but I don't think you can get too complicated with your directions when you're making the sort of ultimatum for a vote.
See, I think that we can get into it further here, but ultimately, Mark, you've made a strong argument that your vote doesn't matter a whit as far as the national votes are concerned.
Right, ladies and gentlemen,
So,
if you can
what's
get
it matter?
if somebody can get 35 cents from somebody for your vote, you've made money because your vote is worthless mathematically. So if Trump
I'll say this.
pardon
I'm
somebody
sorry.
for it, go ahead.
I'll say this, and then I'll end my call and leave you with this thought. As far as voting, I don't vote, and I certainly won't vote for Trump or anybody else. And I would just reiterate that it could be easily argued that the WikiLeaks document dump shortly before Trump's election may have won him that election.
Sure. Now, let me talk to you about your
that's when he was a fan of WikiLeaks.
And that's when the entire right was a fan of WikiLeaks.
Well, is he still a fan of WikiLeaks, though? That's a question. Mark, you want to hang on to it, Matt?
I want to hang on to Matt.
Matt, if you want to hang on, you're welcome to. 855-450, free like freedom. It is Free Talk Live.
With Penn Jillette. He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves. Here on Free Talk Live, the toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. LRN.FM, and that is where you can sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. I'm Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
And by the way, coming up in just a few weeks, we're going to be at ForkFest. ForkFest 2019. It is happening at Rogers Campground, June 13th through the 18th. It is a beautiful place to be. The location is splendid. The view is outstanding. And the people are really cool. You're going to be camping with other like-minded, liberty-oriented folks, libertarians, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchists. Some mix of those three will likely be all over the place at Rogers Campground. And there'll be all kinds of things to do, but we don't exactly know what they all will be yet because it's all self-organized. It's a decentralized Libertarian Camping Festival, meaning there are no official organizers, which means there's no ticket cost because there's no overhead, there's no organization. It's just Liberty people at the same campground doing whatever it is they feel called to do. So if you want to throw a poker game, bring a poker table, throw a poker game.
That's why I'll be there.
For the poker?
Oh, maybe.
There's also other things you could do. Maybe you want to cook for people. Well, there's going to be hungry people there, although there may be other people cooking as well, so there may be some level of competition at that. And also, I know Alt Expo is going to be there with a tent. They're going to have speakers on various different topics. There will be Man Camp that our co-host on Wednesday nights, Jay Noon, is going to be putting on. Our friends from AnyPay, Derek and Steven, are going to be throwing parties every single night, like dance parties. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to ForkFest this year. It's been a lot of fun every time we've gone. It harkens back to the days when of the sort of the disorganized Liberty Festival.
So I've got one clarifying question. You said 13th through the 18th
of June,
but the 18th is also the official start date of PorkFest.
I should say until the 18th. Basically. Okay. If you don't want to stay for PorkFest, the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is another Liberty camping festival, but one with tickets and organizers and big name speakers or whatever. If you don't want to stay for the Porcupine Freedom Festival, then you would have to leave on the 18th at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're going to start doing tickets later in the day, basically.
Okay. So that's all. I know that there was an overlap, and I was like, because I was thinking about the way that my dates are working out. Is the time off I got from work was the weekend of ForkFest.
Right.
And then the 18th and 19th of Fork/PorkFest. So I was going to head back up to Rogers that Tuesday, Wednesday.
I see.
And I wasn't sure if there was like an over.
No, there's
PorkFest
really
still going on?
No Forkfesty things will be happening on Tuesday. That's the pack up your campsite and leave kind of day.
And make room for the Porcupine Freedom Festival. Yeah. Okay.
So forkfest.party is the unofficial website. That's where you can go to link over to the Telegram chat room where people have been chatting there all weekend long. I imagine that's going to continue to be buzzing between now and the event and during the event as well. Plus, there's a forum, and I've sort of reorganized the forum recently. So I made it so ForkFest is more prominent now because it's part of the ForkFest forum is part of the larger Shire forums, and it used to be like a sub forum, but now it's one of the major categories.
Nice.
So it's easier to find it. And that's because it's going to be bigger this year. There's a lot more buzz around it, and we're looking forward to it. We will be there broadcasting from the event, so we'll look forward to seeing you at ForkFest 2019, June 13th through the 18th. You can register your campsite or your RV site, or if you want, motel room over at Rogers Campground. Just get in touch with them. I think the link and phone number is on the site at forkfest.party. As we continue, Matt is still there in our Discord line. And I think, Mark, did you have a question for Matt? I know you wanted to hold on to him.
Yeah, Matt. So you said that, when we were talking about if Donald Trump deigned to pardon Ross Ulbricht, that you wouldn't vote for him just because you won't vote. And
correct.
I would go the other direction. So my point is that voting is mathematically insignificant. That at no point in U.S. history has one vote in one state for whatever the amount of electoral votes there might be in that particular state ever determined who is going to be president of the United States. So therefore, voting is in and of itself a social exercise. And you can participate in it if you wish or not participate in it if you wish.
You only hold that at the federal level, though, right? Because I've heard you say local elections are a different story.
Well, statistically, more, the farther down you go on the list, I mean, I live in a town of about 1,600 people, and yeah, that could make a difference, especially at town meeting where 200 people show up and they begin voting on who's going to be taxed on for what thing. So it does get more important at that point, and there has been instances where either my vote mattered, in its absence, or my vote mattered in its presence. So those things are can be important.
Well, I mean, just to clarify, the reason I don't vote is because, for me, I consider it to be an immoral act.
I'd like to hear about that. Exactly how does it become immoral? Because if I'm doing something immoral, I need to know.
Because you wouldn't want to do it.
Right. I don't want to do immoral things. Dear God, Matthew.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can explain it pretty simply. The idea that electing people into office that rule other people against their will is just, I consider that immoral.
So you go and you vote when the opportunity for a spending item is on the ballot, but you just don't vote for people?
No, I never vote. I never have voted.
Well, let me tell me the immorality of a spending item, because I think this is the most simple of them. If there's on the ballot, and I go and they say we're going to spend $1 million to get this big widget, and it's going to be really awesome, and everybody's going to benefit, and I vote no for that big widget, how have I aggressed against my neighbor and acted in an immoral fashion?
By legitimizing the third party that is actually telling you, hey, this is how we're going to spend this money we stole from you.
So
you have a choice. You have a choice on how we're going.
Do you
to spend
pay taxes?
Yes.
Aren't you legitimizing them?
Oh my God!
Yes.
Why are you legitimizing them by giving them money?
Yes, I am legitimizing them.
Okay.
Yes.
Ian, I don't think that is the most effective system.
I do not like legitimizing them by paying taxes.
Right.
Not a taxpayer, I'm a tax victim.
Isn't that way worse though than going to vote? I mean, you're actually giving them money. You're encouraging them by giving them money and helping them oppress people.
I agree.
I don't think it legitimizes.
I agree, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. But there are consequences. They will come after me if I.
So you're willing to legitimize their system by giving them right. I understand what you're saying. You're willing to legitimize their system by paying them because they've threatened you. But if they give you the opportunity, hold on. If they give you the opportunity to, okay, I understand what you're saying. If they give you the but you're doing it. If they give you the opportunity to come in and check a box that says tax me less versus tax me more, you then will refuse to do that. Isn't it immoral if you could save yourself and your neighbors the punishment of taxes? Why wouldn't you want to do that?
It's a waste of my time because they can say whatever they want. And
okay, well, now it's a different argument.
That's a different argument. Change their mind.
So a waste of a time is a different argument.
Even if voting was effective.
Wait a second. I just told you that it was effective on the local level, and I can tell you the story. It was a town truck for $150,000 spread out over 1,600 people, and my vote made a difference, and it did not get spent that year. It did get spent the next year, and I'm telling you that so that you can make your argument that, see, ultimately it doesn't matter. But for that year, those people
I wasn't trying to get in a fight
pay.
with you guys.
No, but this is the point, is that once we start talking about voting, people come out. Like, here's the thing.
I will come to your defense. I'm with you.
Well, and you too, Buster. Your vote can make a difference because mine has. And on top of that, in many cases, voting also gets you the opportunity to be in the jury pool where you can totally make a difference in somebody's life.
Oh, see, I don't want to be in a pool of government information.
Right. Look at you guys. You're saying, I don't want to give them any extra information. And blah, blah, blah. Like these are excuses, gentlemen.
Do you have a driver's license?
It hasn't been valid since 2012.
Oh, okay.
Excuses.
Still have the little piece of plastic in
There's
my wallet.
somebody out there that needs your help, and you're just choosing not to give it.
I am obligated to nobody.
You're not obligated to give their help. You're not.
But there is that thing called karma where, would be nice to have somebody help you if you needed it. Right?
That's true. And if
how could you expect anyone to help you out if you're not willing to help anybody else out?
I wouldn't expect them to help me out by voting. Right?
No. He's talking about the jury.
Look, all the advances that we've seen here in New Hampshire, and I'm not saying those advances are going to be effective in the long term, but all of the advances we've seen here have been as a result of voting. Like there's been a lot of activists doing a lot of things, but I've been here for 13 years. Running around topless and having guns strapped to your hip and all that stuff, it doesn't mean anything unless you vote.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that is a problem with the system overall, and I think
it's not going to go away if you don't vote. Though they don't give a damn what you think.
You're right.
As long as you keep paying taxes, they're just going to keep doing their thing.
That's the money right there. I've made the claim in the past that the only legitimate protest is a tax protest.
Agreed.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Unless you're
I want to see all these non-voters.
Funds,
I want to see all these principled non-voters. And Matt, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, he has something to say.
That's okay. I want to see all these principled non-voters be really principled and stop paying and obeying. Because if you want the state's legitimacy to go away, it's got to start with that. It's got to start with you not recognizing them.
Well, it also has to be en masse.
Well, you just got to start with one person.
Either
More
they're
coming
legitimate
up.
or not.
This is Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is next.
If you feel you've been lied to, pressured, or misled into buying your timeshare, you have the right to cancel completely. This is Steve Sanchez, and I'd like to introduce you to Wesley Financial Group, the leading top-rated timeshare cancellation company in the country. That's right, no more excessive fees or lifetime commitments that make you feel like you're serving a prison sentence. Founded by CEO Chuck McDowell, a pioneer in the industry who went into federal court and won against the largest timeshare resort company in the world just to help you get out of your timeshare. Too good to be true? No. Countless testimonials and the highest ratings from the Better Business Bureau make Wesley Financial Group the real deal, and their money-back guarantee they put in writing makes them the Steve Sanchez choice for successfully canceling your timeshare guaranteed. To get their free information kit, call 1-800-475-1919. That's 1-800-475-1919, or visit them at timesharecancellations.com. That's 1-800-475-1919.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,280. Silver at $14.50. And Bitcoin is trading around $7,891. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the worst fears of Julian Assange's legal team have been realized. The Mind Unleashed reports that the Department of Justice has unveiled a slate of new charges against Assange, including 17 new counts of violating the Espionage Act, stemming from his role in publishing the classified documents leaked by Chelsea Manning. In addition to significantly raising the punishment threshold from a maximum of 5.5 years under the previous indictment to the prospect of a death sentence for violating the Espionage Act, the new charges will raise serious First Amendment issues, as Assange will become the first journalist charged under the Espionage Act. According to the New York Times, the Obama administration considered bringing the Espionage Act charges against Assange, but balked because it didn't want to raise the Fifth Amendment issue. While WikiLeaks had warned of the possibility, they suspected that the United States would wait until Assange was on American soil before bringing Espionage Act-related charges. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Saudi-led coalition's war on Yemen shows little sign of dwindling. And now, over 4 years after it began, its borders are increasingly fluid as Yemen's Houthi movement increasingly takes the fight to Saudi Arabia's soil. Minpress News reports that last Monday, the Houthis announced that amid increasingly grim prospects for peace, they would begin a campaign to target 300 vital Saudi-led coalition military and economic targets, including military headquarters and facilities inside Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Saudi-led coalition military targets inside Yemen. The fourth attack in the 300-target blitz came Thursday, when Yemen's army, loyal to Houthis, launched a drone strike against a U.S.-made Saudi Patriot air defense system at the Najran Regional Airport in southern Saudi Arabia. The airport lies 840 kilometers southwest of Riyadh, near the Saudi-Yemen border, and has been targeted twice in several days. Western Europe is home to a cluster of developed economies that boost some of the highest standards of living in the world. But that could soon change. The Mind Unleashed, citing NBC News, says that IQ scores in France, Scandinavia, Britain, Germany, and even Australia are beginning to decline. The trend has been well documented across Western Europe and could soon carry over to the United States. The data, simply put, means the world is getting dumber. Possible explanations for the drop include the rise of smartphones and other devices, which have worn away the ability to focus, the rise of lower-skill service work that isn't as intellectually stimulating, and less nutritious food. Whatever the cause, the trend seems to portend a decline in long-term productivity and economic success, factors that have long been correlated with IQ. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A prison rights group protests the treatment of supervillains in the nation's magnetic detainment cubes. A local dad thought he could make it out of a zoo without buying his kids light-up shit, and a pigeon wishes just once it could complete a head movement smoothly. This is the Onion Week in Review. Millions of frustrated Americans across the country asked this week why the nation's struggling mental health system couldn't just get it together and stop feeling sorry for itself. Exasperated citizens told reporters that they had lost all patience with the ailing network's failure to perform basic tasks, such as routine mental health evaluations and emergency counseling.
Look, I get it. Everyone goes through a rough patch. Just look at the education system. I know times are tough, but things are never going to improve unless the system decides it wants to get better.
In other news, a new study finds that more men are opting to be in the room when their wife conceives their baby. An area man is unaware all of his friends think of him when they want to put things into perspective, and 36 chemical and emotional responses are activated by the phrase pigs in a blanket.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Launching into the third hour of this live Sunday edition of the show. As always, you may join us. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Just jump into one of those top 4 rooms on our list of various different chat rooms, and then we'll join you, and you'll sound like you're here with us tonight. It's Ian.
Richie Rich.
Oh, sorry, Mark. For whatever reason, I didn't unmute your mic.
Yeah, that's how I'm treated on this show.
We will continue with your calls and thoughts. We have Kevin in Indiana listening to WGBF in Evansville. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, how you doing,
Hey,
gentlemen?
what's on your mind?
Well, New Hampshire is one of the freest states in the country. It's
true.
I voted for years ago. I voted for Gary Johnson, brilliant man.
Sorry. How'd that work out?
Well, he didn't win.
I like
No,
my vote for Gary Johnson just fine. These guys are just cynics. Don't listen to him.
Here's the thing. I didn't vote for McCain and Obama or whoever the heck because I just couldn't vote. And I voted my entire life. Okay. I got to the point I was not going to vote for the lesser of two evils.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
I do like Trump. I have voted for him. I have a lot of Trump gear. Now, if the gentleman, I forget his name, Ross, whatever it is,
Ross
in
Ulbricht,
prison
the founder of
Yeah.
the Silk Road, which was the world's first darknet marketplace.
Okay, well, has what he started hurt anybody?
No.
I mean, okay.
No, arguably it
Non-violent-
actually made people's lives better. It made people's lives safer. The drug user, for instance, instead of venturing into the streets and buying drugs from some questionable dealer and getting robbed or ripped off,
bumped over the head,
could now actually buy from the safety of their own home and have their product delivered
like an
to them.
Amazon.
Yeah, basically like eBay.
Like his creation of the site didn't directly cause anyone harm.
No, I mean, there may be
I
somebody. Sorry to interrupt, Kevin, but just to continue finishing the answer to the question, there may be somebody who bought some heroin on the Silk Road and took too much or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's not his
something like
fault.
that happened. But ultimately, there are more people who were saved from being beaten and robbed in the streets and getting bunk product and then overdosing. There was a lot of lives saved by the Silk Road.
Well,
the guy's
I
a hero.
agree. And here's the thing: if it's nonviolent, let him out.
Absolutely.
I mean, I absolutely agree. He should be out. I would vote for. Well, I wouldn't vote for certain people like Nancy Pelosi, but I agree the man should be out. Nonviolent, he should be out. Just like the one black lady that was let out. And I'm just saying black because she's black, not because I'm racist or anything like that. That Trump let out. One of the first people he let out. She was in there for what? One thing of crack, or one thing of heroin, or one thing of marijuana. And she became a minister in church or in prison.
Yeah, release
I
all
think that's great.
nonviolent offenders. Anybody who hasn't actually harmed another human being should not be held against their will behind bars.
Alice Johnson was her name.
Yeah, Alice Johnson. Yep, you're right. Kay Ivey, I believe, is the governor of Alabama. I think marriage used to be pertaining to,
a man and a woman.
It was a religious style ceremony. It wasn't the government. Well, the government's run by lawyers, and the lawyers make a hell of a lot of money on it. Excuse my French.
Nope, you're right.
And they make a lot of money in divorce, and I think they actually promote discord in marriage. I mean, they advertise like crazy. I mean, I'm sorry, I am divorced. I was in an abusive marriage. I had 14 children, 12 living. I'm a good man. And I had to leave for my sanity.
Did you say you had 14 children?
Congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
I was either a Catholic with she practiced natural family planning, or I could say we use the rhythm method and I have no rhythm. I'm the wrong color.
Got to learn to pull out.
I can't dance.
So you agree then that the government should have no involvement in marriage whatsoever?
That's right. And the thing with the abortion in Alabama, abortion prior to Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade is a farce, and we all know that now. McGorvey came out before she died and said it was a bunch of BS. But anyways, it was a state's issue. It was never a federal issue, and it should be back to the state's issue. And you'd have about 20 to 22 that would be against it, 20 to 22 before it, and the other ones would be in middle of the road, whatever.
One of the things I think about this Alabama law that's passed was, to some extent, it's a return salvo to, I think it was the New York state law where it was portrayed. I don't know the specifics. I haven't read either one of these things, but the New York law was basically portrayed. Hey, while the kid's foot's still in there, you can kill them. Slit their throat right there. And so, I mean, I wouldn't doubt for a second that Alabama's like, we're the not New York. This is our not New York abortion law.
Yeah, you got all those liberals up in New York, and this is the conservative
This is how we do it down.
Deep Bible Belt.
Yeah.
The deep Bible Belt.
Well, I agree with Kevin on this. I think that states should be able to go in whatever directions. I don't believe generally in the idea of the state period, but as long as we're going to have them, we ought to have 50 different choices rather than this one overarching federal government. I say secession now. How do you feel about that?
We were supposed to be 50, however many states there were each time, experiments in government, and self-government, not a ruler, not a dictator, because President Washington could have been king, and he chose to walk out. Now, I read that.
Still chose to be president, though.
Yes, I was trying to read his final remarks to Congress as he was leaving. Man, the English way they wrote, they were like three long like a paragraph that was like a page long that was a sentence. Whoa, it was hard to read. But and pertaining to this, kind of a joke, pertaining to journalism, journalists can break stories and journalists can break wind.
Kevin, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The
Bye-bye.
toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is why we need to see secession happen in our lifetime. We need to get out of this federal government arrangement. It does not help anybody. It just pits people against one another, which is what governments do at all levels.
And that's what they want.
That is definitely what they want. They want you to be distracted by the bread and the circuses while they rule over us and think that you have some sort of influence on them by, playing in their little voting system or whatever.
I don't have a particular problem with a state having the right to secede. I just don't think that the direction of the modern nation state is going in sort of secession.
Look at Brexit.
Yeah, well, Brexit is, and you're seeing all the problems they're having. They're trying to work out a deal.
Well, right.
Imagine right now if New Hampshire seceded from the United States and said, "All right,
no deal,
hard break,
just go."
Well, right. That's what you're all about.
That's right.
You're a hard hexer.
Right. Because look at this crap with Brexit. It's taken years now. Right. And they still haven't gone out of the EU.
Well, and they're starting to backtrack on it a little bit.
Of course they are.
I, for one, don't want to have to be checked at the border when I go to the Lowe's over in Vermont or whatever.
Well, go to the Lowe's in Milford. Or wherever it is.
Look, I'm not some hardcore patriot, Ian. Like, that's what you sound like. You're like, stay in New Hampshire where we're free, and we told the United States government to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Well, look, let's just make this easy on people because people want something easy.
My wife likes to go to Mass, and I feel dirty every time we cross the border.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the shopping's better in some cases.
That's true. That's the reason.
You got to pay sales tax.
That is also true.
Look, when was the last time you went shopping?
Or saveatpurse.com.
You don't know anything about shopping.
What are you talking about? I go shopping all the time.
You went grocery shopping. The last time you went shopping was at the pot store in Massachusetts.
She drives from Manchester to Burlington just to go to Nordstrom. Like that's her jam.
Yeah, I don't know anything about.
Let's talk to Matthew. He's in New Jersey, listening to WPG in Atlantic City. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, how are you gentlemen this evening?
Excellent. Go ahead with your thoughts.
No, you're touching on. You guys don't think you're journalists. You're talk show host.
I'm a broadcast journalist.
You are a journalist.
Had to do it. Sorry.
I think you.
I'm telling you, if you've ever seen, if you've ever seen my co-host Mark's writing, you know he could not be a journalist. My God, he can punctuation, spelling, it's just atrocious.
So he needs a good editor then.
That's true. I'd get real tired of it if I was his editor. How baked are you right now?
I'm a frequent caller to Harry Hurley down here in Atlantic City.
Yep, that's the morning show host, right, on WPG?
Yeah, WPG. And Todd Starnes, I called him the other day.
Okay.
And I touched on this subject, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it.
All right. I don't even know what subject this is, but hang on. We're going to bring you back here, Matthew. He wants our opinion on a subject. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. The call screening software. The call screening software says it's abortion, so we may be getting into talk radio hell. The toll-free number.
Started there.
855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live.
I'm not interested in supporting the killing of people around the world, and I'm not interested in supporting the imprisoning of people within this country, so that should make it pretty clear what my position is. What's yours, Frankie?
Kind of have an inclination that from what's going on and, the media, how the media plays into it, and how they're popping up with different areas in the world, like Somalia.
Who's popping up with different areas of the world?
Do you watch the news? You watch the news?
Hell no. Who's popping up? You said someone's popping up. They are popping up. Who is they?
I'm sorry. You know what it is? I'm thinking that you watch the news like I do.
Yeah, I don't watch television. I don't even have television. Do you guys watch the news?
No, I read a lot of news, but I don't watch the news.
The problem is, Frankie, if we can't communicate, we can't have a conversation.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can dial in toll-free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Mark.
Mark, tell me about the upcoming Freedom Fest in July.
Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. This year, it's at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this year's theme is the Wild West. Was it a time of liberty and opportunity or lawlessness and violence? We're going to find out. And Penn Jillette, Lenore Skenazy, Candace Owens, John Mackey, Kevin O'Leary, and Kevin Harrington of Shark Tank, Stephen Moore, Grover Norquist, they're going to help us figure it all out. They're adding folks. I see that Glenn Beck's now been added.
Wow.
There's quite a few names being added over time here. Libertarians, conservatives, liberals, all getting together and mingling and to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. The best debates that you're going to find on the liberty subject are had at Freedom Fest. There's no doubt about that. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL. By the way, it's July the 17th through the 20th. And it's a big event. Thousands of people going. Freedomfest.com/FTL. Get your tickets now. Join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50. That's FTL50, and you get $50 off your ticket price. if you go to freedomfest.com/FTL, you also get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. So you don't even have to have bought your ticket yet. You can go see whether you want to buy your ticket. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL. You'll see Judge Napolitano, Alan Dershowitz, Heather McDonald, John Mackey, Charlie Kirk, all for free. freedomfest.com/FTL, July 17th through the 20th at the Paris in Las Vegas, freedomfest.com/FTL.
Let's go back to Matthew in New Jersey. Matthew, listening to WPG. You're back on, Matthew. You said you had a question for us. You've been calling around different talk shows and asking the same question. So go ahead. You got to turn down whatever's going on in the background, though. Hello?
Is that better?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, so yeah, no, I was listening to Todd Starnes and Harry Hurley the other day, and I heard a report. I don't mean to flip the script on you here or nothing, but this kid from I think he was from Indiana or something. He wanted to go to Swarthmore College.
Okay, kid want to go to Swarthmore?
And it's pretty exclusive school. It's it's not easy to get into. I mean,
it's got to have his celebrity parents bribe his way in.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is why I want your guys' opinion on this. They told him, you're a white male. Swarthmore College has this goes to the affirmative action and the paybacks and all this stuff. His counselor, his guidance counselor, told him, don't even apply. Not getting that. Telling you right now.
Sorry, you kind of broke up for a little bit. Don't even apply for what?
Don't even apply to Swarthmore. You're not getting in.
Well, that's not a good reason not to apply.
Because they have a certain allowance for minorities and people of color and whatever.
Well, it's also certain people of color. Harvard recently had they put some kind of cap on Asians. Sorry, Asians are just too good at getting into the college, so we have to put a cap on them.
Well, plus now there's the SAT, which is going to start judging adversity and adjusting scores based on the person's perceived adversity, meaning if they grew up in a tough neighborhood or they're black or whatever, they purportedly have had more adversity, so they'll adjust scores accordingly. The whole thing's a scam. What the dude ought to do is just forget about college unless he absolutely wants to be some sort of college-educated doctor or engineer or something like that. Otherwise,
or just apply and hope for the best.
It's just a scam, man. I mean, he's going to end up with huge college debt. Why would anybody want to have a college degree and all that debt?
In case you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive school, gentlemen.
Right.
I mean, it's a very expensive. But listen, I'll tell you a quick story, and I'll get off the air. Do you remember when Ronald Reagan back in the 80s fired all the air traffic controllers?
Yes.
No.
Okay. I played football at San Diego State. Okay, that's the only way I could have went there. My parents couldn't afford to send me there.
Mm-hmm.
But I got hurt. They cut me off the team, and I came back home. And my mom said, "You're going to go take this test to be an air traffic controller. The President Reagan just fired all these people, and you're good at math." So I went. I took this course. I accumulated a 99.8 on my exam.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. But guess what?
You were passed up for the
If you're
job.
a person of color, you get 5 extra points. If you're a woman, you get 5 extra points. If you're ex-military, you get 5 extra points. So outright, I was number 1 in the class. But these people are accumulating 115s.
Right.
118s.
A black lady who left the military, then you've got it.
I'm done. I'm toast. They never called me.
Well,
they never called me.
It probably isn't that great working for the government anyway. Matthew, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Hey, that's the government world, right? Like whether you're trying to get a government job or a government contract, all these requirements come into play that all these political people have passed over many, many years.
Right. For whatever reason, they think it's a good idea to do this, that, or the other thing. And there's all kinds of rules, right? Like, rules that favor this group or favor that group. And it's identity politics, and it's not a way to win. It's not a way to push us forward. But, hey, that's what they're going to do because that's what the state does.
And the friends of the politicians get first billing as well.
Yep. Statists are going to state.
I'm not sure how this can be, but Joe is in California claiming he's listening to WOCA, which I believe is a radio station in Ocala, Florida. Are you listening?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay. Right on.
Ocala, Florida.
Gotcha. For whatever reason, they translated that into California. Anyway, go ahead. You're on Free Talk Live. What were you calling about?
Okay, what I called in about was you've been talking about not having a marriage license in Alabama. In Florida, in my 80-some years here, I'm 82 years old, but I have known of two couples that had to get a divorce who had never been married because of the common law marriage law in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I know several other states have it. And I do know that one of the things in Florida, if you ever signed into a motel as Mr. and Mrs., you would be considered married and would have to get a divorce if you were separated.
Oh, that's interesting. I grew up in Florida, as did he, and I have never heard of the common law, but
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I heard that it existed, but I've never heard a person having to deal with it. So it's a fascinating story.
The ones I know were back in the 50s. One of them was a lady that worked for my dad.
Joe, I'm not sure if you're driving at a point. If you were, hang on. We can bring it back. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's the second time I've gotten a call from a WOCA listener. I've never talked to the program director there, so it's nice to know we're on. We're coming up. Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here. Take control of the airwaves on this live Sunday edition. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
And I want you to know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you really ought to be putting your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and list your business or digital content that you create or an event that you're involved with that you want other liberty-minded people to show up to. Then get over to Liberty.menu and you can put your things that you do there so other Liberty folk can find out about it. And maybe we'll get some new business out of it. So check it out. It's free, and it works very, very well. It's also got a bit of a social networking aspect to the site, Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL, and you get a special Free Talk Live listener badge if you do that. The gentleman on the line in listening to station in Ocala has dropped off, so I guess he was done. So let's continue with more of your calls. Jonathan in New Jersey, watching us on YouTube. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Welcome. You're on the air.
That's great to hear. So I know you guys were talking before about how, going into, the military and, talking about how you're coming home and this and that, getting deployed in the military and all that. I was in the military, and I'm suffering from, all that deformative and stuff, PTSD, all that stuff. I've been scarred a lot. Sorry,
Hold it together.
I was scarred. Yep. Sorry, I just have with all that, and I come home, I'm suffering from the all that stuff, and the biggest thing I had from all that stuff is that the PTSD is that I stuck to Osama bin Laden.
All right. Just not even gonna. Don't even have to dump you on that one because you didn't even get it out. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Did you believe him?
No,
I didn't
believe
either.
For a second.
I was wondering what radio show he was actually listening to.
We weren't talking about that.
My finger was hovering over the imaginary dump button.
Don't worry, I had it covered.
I figured you would.
But I didn't even have to go down to the dump button on that one.
No.
Too slow, bro. He couldn't even hold it together. Anyway, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's
isn't as easy to crank as the Jerky Boys, right?
Right.
This is
They're practiced.
Takes practice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
855-450-FREE. Now you remember in the Jerky Boys?
Was the Jerky Boys the first movie or one of the first movies with the after-credit stinger? Because I remember
I don't know. I don't know if I ever saw their movie.
Stay off.
Ferris Bueller's had it too? Okay. Jerky Boys is the first one I remember. Like after the credits, there was like one more joke.
Hey, if you want to join us, you can. Let's go to David. He's in New Mexico listening to the TuneIn app. Hello, David.
Yeah, hey, Mark, you're so wrong on that one vote thing for president. One vote making a difference, winning the presidency.
Yep.
I remember when that happened. I was hanging out here in New Mexico with Kevin Costner and Kelsey Grammer, Nathan Lane, Dennis Hopper, Stanley Tucci, George Lopez, Willie Nelson, and
what movie?
Kevin
is this?
Costner.
Yeah. How is it you were hanging out with all those people at the same time?
Oh well, I don't know. There was a lot of cameras around and stuff. There was speeches going on and little farmers' kids with chasing chickens. I don't remember the whole thing, but yeah, we were all hanging out, and Kevin Costner's vote made the difference and got the president elected. It was all up to Kevin Costner.
What's the movie? Is there a reference here that I don't?
I don't
well,
remember.
his vote was a swing vote. The swing vote that got the president elected.
You got to tell us the movie, man.
Are you getting it, Mark? Are you getting a reference?
I just did.
We're all in the dark here.
Swing vote. Swing vote.
That's a movie?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm in it.
All right.
Must have been during Kevin Costner's Tin Cup phase.
Huh?
So that happened.
Wow, congratulations. Thanks for the call. Okay. Swing vote.
Get off my plane.
Who knew? Is that I wonder if that's a newer movie. It sounds older.
It doesn't
with
sound
all those names.
Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah. Is he doing anything these days?
I don't know.
Toll-free
doesn't
number,
have to.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So, Mark, you said you did not want to talk about this article, or was it only in the last segment that you did not want to talk about this story?
Well, I can try to plow through this as
if you don't want to do it, it's fine.
I think I might be able to pull it off. So, here's the idea, right, from Quartz, writing here, a GOP lawmaker in Illinois recently introduced a bill that, if passed, would ask Congress to consider making the city of Chicago its own state. Of course, no one really expects this bill to pass. Even the congressman who wrote it admits that he's only introduced it to highlight Chicago's disproportionate influence in the state of Illinois.
Now, hold on. Was this a national congressman?
No.
State congressperson?
GOP lawmaker in Illinois.
Okay.
Chicago holds more voting power than largely rural rest of the state for a reason.
This is your typical big city has way too much sway over the rest of a state.
Yeah. Chicago, New York, Los Angeles.
Right. Well, and in Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Sure.
California's got its own mess, but this illustrates how political divisions in North America and Western Europe run not only along the fault lines of race and class, but increasingly divide the rural heartlands from the major cities. And people out in the countryside believe different things than people in cities.
Well, that's why we have the Electoral College.
Right. Well, that'll solve something. This divide, with real consequences, from Brexit to polarizing politics from the 2016 U.S. presidential election, it seems like it's only getting harder to fix. Go take a look at the counties as they voted for Trump, and you will see a map that is almost entirely red. Now, that doesn't mean that geography shouldn't have a vote, but just take a look and you'll understand that cities vote Democrat and countryside tends to vote Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference. What instead?
So would they get like 2 senators out of Chicago state, right? They'd have their own. Okay.
I think the Senate should be eliminated anyway, but whatever.
That's not part of the proposal.
No.
Okay.
What if it instead it was trying to mend this cultural? What if instead of trying to mend this cultural schism, we embrace it? But there is no mending.
Yeah, no, it's not going to get. The people are not going to get brought together.
Right. Al Gore was correct when he said there's 2 Americas. There's 2 Americas, and they want a divorce. They don't want anything to do with each other. They're still in the process of beating the hell out of each other, but at some point or another, they need to get a divorce. And whatever that divorce might look like, I don't have any good answers for you, people. I have several answers that I'd love to talk about, but they're complicated and they're unlikely to be implemented because, well, this divorce you can't get out of. The last time somebody tried to get out of this marriage, they shot him. That's what happened in the Civil War.
But the South will rise again.
Right. So, and the solution for a better future can come from the far, far past. If we look back at ancient history, one model makes a strong case for this approach: the free city. A free city is a largely independent municipality that is not subject to local or regional authorities and has its own representatives in federal and or imperial bodies. They are particularly important in the Holy Roman Empire and persisted through the Middle Ages, which is when cities became sites of progress, development, and culture. And I think this really makes a lot of sense because, of course, the people in Chicago, the politicians from Chicago, bend the Illini political process to their will. A, they can, and B, if they don't, then that process will bend them to their will.
Illini, is that like the plural of Illinois or possessive?
It's Illinoisans.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one term that they use. I think Illinoisans.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, it is.
Fighting Illini? Sports thing? No.
It's a sports thing. I was told to use that as the plural.
I believe you.
I don't know that that's official already by any stretch.
This is only going to affect Chicago if it goes through.
No. This law is nonsense.
I thought it was they were going to ask to have Chicago separated into its own state.
Correct. They are asking that.
They don't expect the law to pass in any way, shape, or form.
They don't expect it to pass in Illinois?
Right. But the way he read the article is they don't expect it to pass. They're just proposing it to put the idea out there, to highlight the idea that Chicago has
I thought they didn't expect it to get through at the U.S. level.
It's probably not going to get through at the U.S. level either. But the idea here is to float the notion of a free city.
Yeah.
Right.
How many cities should do this? Should there be like a population cutoff or something? Like if it's below 1 million or something that they can't do it?
The smaller it is, the better representation.
More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, you probably now realize it wasn't a good idea, and the financial strain it's putting on you and your family has you stressed, and you probably think there's no way out. This is Steve Sanchez, and you know I've been an advocate for hardworking Americans just like you for 27 years, and there's a way out of this financial nightmare, and my friends at Wesley Financial, the leading timeshare cancellations company in the country, can help you cancel your timeshare guaranteed. Being lied to, misled, and pressured into buying a timeshare doesn't have to be your story, but freedom of being out of it can be. I have a special free information kit that will give you the step-by-step process that Wesley Financial uses to get you out of your timeshare guaranteed. Call 1-800-501-6100. That's 1-800-501-6100 or visit stevesanchez.info. You don't have to have the financial nightmare of a timeshare any longer. Wesley Financial can help you get out guaranteed. Call 1-800-501-6100.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain, maybe enough time for you. If you want to get on the phones, you can dial now. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
Check out more of Richie on his show, The Anarchist Experience.
AnarchistExperience.com.
What were your main topic or topics this week?
Oh, man. This week we started off with the concepts of negative versus positive rights.
Oh, boy. That's always fun to explain.
Always fun. And then as long as
it's
we're
nice to have a niche audience, isn't it?
Yes.
Because when you have a niche audience, then they can dig real deep into this kind of thing. Whereas when you have a general audience like we have, negative, positive rights,
we've talked about it.
Murky.
I don't even know how much of an audience we have. I just like when we finally got onto LRN.FM, I told my co-host, he was like, "Oh man, that changes things." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, because up until this point, I just assumed nobody was listening, and then it didn't matter what I said.
It's just LRN. There's probably not that many people listening.
That's true, but the circulation of listeners is significantly more than whatever we had at the time.
Yeah, we really don't know. I mean, we know that there's some pirate stations that pick it up for sure, so there probably are a few hundred people listening to those, or thousands, who knows. And then we've also got the free-to-air satellite signals, and you never know how many people are in sub-Saharan Africa, got nothing else to do, listening to you at 3 in the morning or whenever it is that it happens to be on. But what else?
And then okay, you want to talk about like talk show hell? He posited a theory of like how the abortion situation would work.
It's not talk show hell for you because you don't have live callers. You don't have to worry about that.
But in the John Wick universe, like he went and watched John Wick 3.
I've never seen it.
And since like murder for hire is apparently okay and accepted in that universe, what would they do with the abortionists and people getting abortion in a world where that was acceptable?
In a world where...
Yes.
In a world.
So that was...
Killing abortionists is acceptable.
Yes, that's pretty much what he posited.
So check him out over at anarchistexperience.com. It's a once-a-week podcast, and you can subscribe over there. All right, so I do want to also mention that Gunneman 2002 is a Free Talk Live silver amplifier, and that means that he or she, sounds like a man, that he is sponsoring the show to the point of $5 per month via the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com, and that helps us because it makes it so we can advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live, so we can bring new listeners on board, bring new radio stations on board. We crossed the 200 station threshold. We're at 205 right now. Actually, I got to take that down a notch because we're losing the one station in Indianapolis. So I got to pull them off. This was their last weekend. Or no, last weekend was their last weekend. For some reason, I didn't pull it off the right time. But anyway, 205. Soon to be 204, but it's nice to be there. And it's all because of listeners like you becoming Free Talk Live amplifiers and helping us out. Your AMP dollars will be sending us in just a short week or so. Yeah, I guess about maybe another week and a half. We're going to New York City.
New York City.
For the
salsa.
Talkers.
Get a rope.
The Talkers Magazine Conference. The only remaining talk radio conference on the planet. And that's something we go to every single year, and it's our Free Talk Live amplifiers that make that possible.
Talk Radio Freak Show, baby.
That's where we met the program director of WRKO in Boston.
That was awesome.
And that helped us kind of seal a deal there.
It's true.
So it really helps. It's not just us, being at some fancy shindig or whatever.
I don't think we would go
with the big
if we
wigs.
thought it was just if we didn't think this was helpful to Free Talk Live and its distribution. we're not going to conventions because, wow, let's go to the convention where I'm not even sure what you would go to a convention for.
You have been excited about meeting certain talk show hosts. I've seen you kind of
I
excited
like it
about
when I'm
that.
there, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to meet any of them.
Okay, gotcha.
And pushing you guys up the ranking as well, right? Did you
I'm
guys
sure it
already
doesn't
announce that?
hurt.
Okay.
You're talking about the Talkers Top
Yeah.
100,
Sure, the
Heavy
people
100.
that make the decision as to what our ranking is currently, we're the 27th talk show in
As of 2018.
Yeah,
We were
2018.
27.
Our rank is 27, and we've gone up every year for all the years that we've been on their rankings. I hope that we continue to go up. I imagine
So
that
26 more years until you're number one.
We might still be here.
Sean Well, I mean, once you start getting into the top 25, things are a
Gets
little
a little
more
harder.
fluid. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if we'll ever break into the top 25. I wouldn't claim that Free Talk Live is a top 25 show. We're in off prime.
Yeah.
But we're constantly adding stations, and we always tell the truth about it. We're one of the larger, probably one of the top 5 weeknight independent shows out
That's
there.
probably true.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't even know if there are 5 independent shows out there. So it's not really
been
a big
rough
claim.
in talk radio, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyway, thanks to the amplifiers like Gunneman 2002. If you want to join him, you can do that at amp.freetalklive.com. You can do it with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin BTC. And you get some cool perks like the Free Talk Live Discord server. You get special AMP access to the AMP chat rooms there. There's also an AMP-only Facebook group for those of you who are still into Facebook, and other perks as well. Learn about those and get signed up at amp.freetalklive.com. All right, Mark, city-states, tell us more.
Yeah, we got this article from Quora here, and we were talking about the idea.
Is
of
it Quora or Quartz? You said Quartz.
Excuse me, my mistake.
Okay. It's QZ.com, right?
Yeah. So free cities have largely disappeared as a result of the rise of the nation-state in the late medieval and early modern period. But as a model of governance that worked for centuries. In medieval Italy and Germany, free cities were unencumbered by the authority of regional lords, but nonetheless participated to a limited degree in the imperial government. Still, free cities had their own laws and elected their own magistrates. They controlled their
So
own
not really
trade.
free, but it's a name.
It's an oxymoron.
Because they have their
They have
own
laws.
governance?
Yeah, they governments.
Yeah, I think they're
therefore not
free of the
free of other
encumbrance.
encumbrances,
Right.
free of external governmental
More
influence. Okay.
And that is the model that they're suggesting here in the United States might serve well both.
That's not really what they're talking about, though. They're not talking about a free city or even an unencumbered city. The proposal in Illinois, as you mentioned it in the story, was that it would become a state. That the city of Chicago, whatever city limits, I don't know where they would end it, right? Because Chicagoland's a pretty big,
It
kind
is
of
sprawling
place. So where do you actually draw that line? Is it when there's so many trees per square mile or something like that? How do you figure that out?
They'll figure it out. Don't worry.
But that the proposal there would be that it would become a state, so it would be completely encumbered by the federal government.
Well,
that's not really that much freedom. What this is a proposal for is to separate Chicago from its voting influence over the rest of Illinois. And that's not a bad idea, but that's all this is.
Well, yes, but it would also unencumber Chicago from Illinois' voting power.
Okay.
And that happens too. So, yes, I think that we're all better off with smaller states, and that oftentimes these metro areas just have different goals. There's another proposal out there to separate New York into 3 states. The 3 states being like Gotham being
The city.
New York City, Long Island, and the rest of New York. Like if you looked at the rest of New York as they describe it, it looks like New York, and then you're like, it's
pretty significant.
Shouldn't there be a Long Island on there or something? Like the shape of New York is almost unchanged by the cutting off of these other things. But
Right.
that's what these people complain about all the time. If you live in a state with a big city, that big city is Jupiter or the sun versus your Pluto that's floating around out there. I've heard people say that, it's called Western Virginia. We might as well not even go to the polls and vote for anything. Because what's the point? We're not represented by these people. It's all about Richmond and Washington, D.C., surrounding areas and that kind of thing. We'd all be a lot better off, I think, if counties had, the power that states had. And
Wow.
they used to have counts.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the ones. That's where the power was.
How many states would it be if every county was its own state? That's got to be
a lot.
Many hundreds.
Many hundreds. Absolutely.
I don't know if they got enough room in D.C. for that. How about we just forget about this whole federal government thing?
Well, the federal government should be a much less powerful organization.
Shouldn't exist at all.
Well, yes, it should.
It shouldn't.
Sure, it should.
Really?
Interstate commerce.
You're gonna actually argue for the federal government now?
Absolutely.
And you call yourself a libertarian?
Have you gone to Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, what's it like?
He's allowed there.
It's big.
And you got thrown in. You go and get thrown in jail if you try, right?
Now I would, but
Right.
the first time I went, I didn't.
But when you go to Massachusetts, you don't get thrown in jail, right?
Well, if you bring a gun, or
I understand Massachusetts has a lot
bullet
of
crossing the border, is what he's
confusing
saying.
laws, but it really sucks crossing borders. If you look
Sure.
look at the small countries in the Caribbean, are they doing well?
I don't know. I've never been.
No, what you want is a loose federation that allows free travel and requires free trade, honors contracts.
You're not going to get that. So how about instead you just not have borders and just allow people to travel between
you're not going to get that.
place to place.
So,
well, the federal government sucks, and it has done nothing for freedom except destroy it. So I can't believe you would argue for it.
But it lets you go to Massachusetts unencumbered. Ian.
Whoopie-doo. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow night. You can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com, and you can follow archives and our webcams and all kinds of free features there. But if you want to support the show, join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. See you tomorrow.
Jake was in.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,280. Silver at $14.50, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,891. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the worst fears of Julian Assange's legal team have been realized. The Mind Unleashed reports that the Department of Justice has unveiled a slate of new charges against Assange, including 17 new counts of violating the Espionage Act, stemming from his role in publishing the classified documents leaked by Chelsea Manning. In addition to significantly raising the punishment threshold from a maximum of 5.5 years under the previous indictment to the prospect of a death sentence for violating the Espionage Act, the new charges will raise serious First Amendment issues, as Assange will become the first journalist charged under the Espionage Act. According to the New York Times, the Obama administration considered bringing the Espionage Act charges against Assange, but balked because it didn't want to raise the Fifth Amendment issue. While WikiLeaks had warned of the possibility, they suspected that the United States would wait until Assange was on American soil before bringing Espionage Act-related charges. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Saudi-led coalition's war on Yemen shows little sign of dwindling. And now, over 4 years after it began, its borders are increasingly fluid, as Yemen's Houthi movement increasingly takes the fight to Saudi Arabia's soil. Minpress News reports that last Monday, the Houthis announced that amid increasingly grim prospects for peace, they would begin a campaign to target 300 vital Saudi-led coalition military and economic targets, including military headquarters and facilities inside Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Saudi-led coalition military targets inside Yemen. The fourth attack in the 300-target blitz came Thursday, when Yemen's army, loyal to Houthis, launched a drone strike against a U.S.-made Saudi Patriot air defense system at the Najran Regional Airport in southern Saudi Arabia. The airport lies 840 kilometers southwest of Riyadh, near the Saudi-Yemen border, and has been targeted twice in several days. Western Europe is home to a cluster of developed economies that boost some of the highest standards of living in the world. But that could soon change. The Mind Unleashed, citing NBC News, says that IQ scores in France, Scandinavia, Britain, Germany, and even Australia are beginning to decline. The trend has been well documented across Western Europe and could soon carry over to the United States. The data, simply put, means the world is getting dumber. Possible explanations for the drop include the rise of smartphones and other devices, which have worn away the ability to focus, the rise of lower-skill service work that isn't as intellectually stimulating, and less nutritious food. Whatever the cause, the trend seems to portend a decline in long-term productivity and economic success, factors that have long been correlated with IQ. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You're listening to the best Liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The latest edition of Proof of Love is next on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Get more at proofoflovecast.com.
You are listening to Proof of Love with Tatiana Moroz, Dr. Stephanie Murphy, and Lauren Kasovitz. This show may contain adult content, language, and humor and is intended for mature audiences. If that's not you, please stop listening. Nothing you hear on Proof of Love is intended as financial advice, legal advice, therapy, or really anything other than entertainment. Please take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. Oh, and if you're hearing us on an affiliate network, the ideas and views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network that you're listening on, or of any of the sponsors or affiliate products that you may hear about on the show. Now that that's squared away, let's start the show. Show me your heart. I know that it's beating. Tell me that you love me too. So I know your heart is true. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. Thank you to our sponsor, BlockTap.io. Please go to their website and check out their Universal Cryptocurrency API to get reliable cryptocurrency data. BlockTap.io.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Proof of Love. We're going to be talking about the love languages today. So, jaki język ty rozmawiasz? That was Polish, but Polish isn't a love language. It's just a language I use to...
suddenly I feel a lot of love.
Yes, there you go. I'm using it to signal to my other Polish people that I love them. But anyway, we're going to talk about the love languages today, and I'm really excited because I read the book. It's a popular book by Gary Chapman. I'm joined today by my beautiful co-host, Lauren Kasovitz. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, good morning. Hello, everybody.
And I'm also joined with Dr. Stephanie Murphy. Hey, Doc, how's it going?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I hope wherever you are, you're having a great time and feeling lots of love.
Very good. Cool. So I'm really excited about this show. I read this book a while ago. I think it can be very helpful, like a really quick and easy way to help couples communicate, because not everybody wants to have a serious, communication thing, right? They're like, it seems kind of lame.
Oh, but some people do. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today.
All right. Very good. So, guys, if you're at home and you want to pause this episode and take your 5 love languages quiz before we get started, it's 5, the number 9. I'm sorry, 5, the number 9. The number 5, lovelanguages.com. And you can take it. They have them for singles. They have them for people that are coupled up and a few other options. So check out the test. It'll take you 5 minutes. It'll probably make this a little bit more fun, but we're going to go over what these 5 love languages are as soon as we say a special thank you to our sponsor. This episode of Proof of Love was brought to you by Vaultoro. Vaultoro is a gold hedging solution for the crypto community. One of the challenges of investing in cryptocurrencies is dealing with volatility, and keeping a diversified portfolio is the key to healthy returns. I keep about 10% of my crypto assets in gold using Vaultoro. Vaultoro allows me to open a gold wallet in seconds where I can easily trade with my cryptos and gold. What I like about using Vaultoro instead of Tether is that the gold in my Vaultoro wallet is insured, audited, vaulted in Switzerland, and unlike fiat money, gold has increased in value for the last 20 years. Visit Vaultoro.com and start today. That's vault, like gold vault, and oro, which is Spanish for gold. Vaultoro. Ole! I added in that ole part. And
that's so
I love
good.
it. I think it's really funny.
And one other thing about Vaultoro is that you know there's not many companies that have been around in the crypto space for longer than a few years. Like that's kind of a rare thing. But Vaultoro, if I'm not mistaken, has been operating since quite a while ago, 2015 or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, they've been out for quite a few years now. And Josh is like a really trustworthy guy. People know him. They've never had any kind of weird, sketchy stuff happen over there. And there's a lot of new products on the market, but they don't have the same, I don't know, just longevity and community. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, people can listen to Josh from Vaultoro. We did a cool episode with Bob Murphy on the Tatiana Show. So if you go to the tatianashow.com, and we talk about hedging and then using gold versus, you know, a stable coin. I think that was pretty neat. My friend asked me to explain it to him afterward, and I felt like I could actually explain the need for a stable coin, whereas before I couldn't. I'm not that great at it, so don't put me on the spot, but yeah, it was pretty neat. Anywho, who cares about hedging and gold and stuff like that? I'm worried about golden heart. And how do you make a golden heart? You got to speak the right language. You got to whisper it into the keyhole. So Lauren, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the 5 love languages and the history before we go into our own love languages?
Sure. So the 5 love languages is based off of a book by Dr. Gary Chapman. It's the full title is The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate. It came out in 1992 and it kind of exploded onto the scene. He did not expect to have this kind of response, neither did the publishers, but people really, really took to this book and this idea. And the idea around the book is that there are 5 specific ways to express and experience love, and these are love languages. Everybody has a different way that they express love or they want to receive love. And Dr. Chapman really believes that the way that you express love is often the way you'd like to receive love as well. So we came up with this quiz, and he based a lot of examples around his counseling practice and things that he had seen in his lifetime. Have people take this 30-question quiz. I believe it's still 30 questions. I took the specific one for couples, even when I was single. And you get your score of what your love languages are. So basically, if you're taking these 30 questions, you'll have a tally at the end, and it'll tell you what acts of service, or actually, let me tell you what the 5 love languages are.
Yeah.
They are receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and physical touch. When you take this quiz, you'll find out which one of those or which 5 of those are the most important. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are tied across the board, but most people, I'd say the great majority, according to Dr. Chapman, have one love language that really stands out. So when you do take this quiz, you'll tend to find that the one that you have the highest points on is the one that really resonates and means the most to you. Many other people, including myself, kind of, tie a little bit on that top 3, and that's pretty common too, but they each mean a different thing. And I don't know if you guys would like me to go through what they mean.
Well, let me just jump in here first, real quick. Yeah, you, as you said, Lauren, when you take this quiz, which we'll link to in the show notes, of course, you get a ranking of which love languages are most important to you. And I like that it's a ranking instead of just, okay, take the top 1 or 2 and ignore all the rest.
Exactly.
All of these might play into your expression or receiving of love in some way, but it's like what is the most important 1 or 2, and then how can you use that? And is that the same if you're in a partner relationship? Is that the same as your partner? Is that different? Could you maybe be overlooking some of the ways that your partner is expressing love to you because it's not the same way you would express love? I think that's what his intention was, is like helping couples communicate better by being able to see how people sometimes express love differently. And if their partner has a different way of expressing love, can they actually challenge themselves to hear it, even if it's not the way you would express love?
Exactly. And I think it really ties into a lot of what we've been talking about on the show on many of our different podcasts. At the end of the day, it's really all about communication and compromise. So you're learning what's important to you. You're also learning what's important to your partner. Can you make that compromise to make them feel safe in the relationship and vice versa? And I know that the author also believes that even though there are these 5 big love languages, that it's a pretty extensive list beyond that, that there are many, many, many things that people need in a relationship, not just 5, but that everybody really has that one primary love language and 1 or 2, because often people are tied on that ranking of 2 and 3, secondary love language.
One thing I also wanted to go back to that you said earlier, Lauren, that's important to point out. If you take the quiz, you'll notice that the questions, at least in the partner quiz, are focused on what's most meaningful to you when your partner does this or when your partner does this. And that's how they're generating this ranking. The questions are not how do you express love? It's focused on how do you receive love and how do you prefer to receive love? But you're saying that Gary Chapman, one of the critical things about his theory is that people often express love in the same way that they want to receive love.
Yes.
So you don't need to focus the questions on how do you express love. He just focused the questions on how do you receive love.
Exactly. And I find that really interesting and different, but I think it's really telling. And I think it's really, when you're in a relationship, I think it's an amazing thing to take this with your partner, because oftentimes the responses that you'll get and that you'll see, even with how you like to receive love, is really fascinating. I know for me, I was really shocked when I got my answers, which we'll discuss later. But I also wanted to point out that this book and this idea of the love languages has become so popular and resonated with so many people that there are quite a few different editions that he's come out with. He has the original for couples. He has for singles. He has for men specifically. He has for military. He has for teens and for children and for the workplace. So
he's just milking it.
He's just going there. But I do think it's really interesting to have these different editions, because for me personally, I've only done the couples one, but I have a feeling they're very similar, but just shift for perspective and environment. And for me, probably the work environment would be very different than anything else. So I think it's pretty fascinating. It's something I've always wanted to look into even deeper.
Okay, so let's look deeper. Like, what exactly is meant by each of these 5 love languages, which, as you said, Lauren, are quality time, acts of service, physical touch, giving gifts, and words of affirmation, right?
Yes. I would love to read directly from his book, if that's okay. So
yeah.
we'll
ask questions and interrupt if something's not clear.
Yes. Okay, great. So we're going to start with words of affirmation. Actions don't always speak louder than words. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words "I love you" are very important. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirits skyward. Insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. Kind, encouraging, and positive words are truly life-giving. So that's words of affirmation. Yes. Then we have physical touch.